Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. But if you do, remember this. You can always find us after the show concludes, both online and certainly in our audio vault. Just go to iTunes, ESPNTallahassee.com as well. We'll have it up there for you. Limited commercial interruption thanks to CarltonDean.com. Email the show if you want. It's JCS at 979ESPNRadio.com. And know that I'm on Twitter at JCameronShow. Tom is at _Tom Wayne. JCS at 979ESPNRadio.com. Some good emails we're getting caught up on. We're slowly getting caught up on now that we're about to start the season. Kind of difficult to do. But we're getting there. We're getting there. And, in fact, right here at the beginning of the show, let me thank John Hewsome. If you're watching right now on YouTube, John, thank you for my Purdue shirt that I'm wearing today. Some of you may be watching on YouTube, in fact, ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube, and think, what the hell is Cameron doing wearing a Purdue shirt? First of all, I've told you this before, I love college football. I love universities in general. I love college towns. I like visiting campuses, etc. So I'll wear almost, unless you're like Miami or something like that, or Florida, I'll wear almost any school's shirt. Institutions of higher learning, you got to raise it up. It's the right thing to do. But also, I just like, I've said it thousands of times, whenever I go to these places, I always want to visit campuses, and I'm always interested in other places' tradition. But also, I've had a thing for Wyoming, Purdue, Army, of course, and a few other teams that I've always just kind of liked. Washington is high on my list of teams. And, of course, then there's the connections, the direct connections, like in my family with OU. And so a lot of those teams I've either wanted to go to games to, have been to games in some situations, or want gear. And so, man, we just got cool listeners. I mean, first of all, we have really cool listeners who are awfully kind and think of us sometimes when they're out on the road and they end up in one of these places they've heard us talked about before. We got the New York City shirts just from people from the boosters up there who listen to the show. Just nice people doing nice things. I always greatly appreciate it. It's crazy. Yesterday we get this package. John, who lives in Texas, happened to be on Purdue's campus and said, I thought of you. You've mentioned Purdue before. I bought you a shirt. Thanks, John. I'm wearing the Purdue shirt. I've never been to that campus, never stepped foot in that stadium, never seen Purdue play live. Remember how many years they had a really good basketball team with Gene Katie, but but I'm wearing it. Thank you, John.
Looks good, man.
It does.
I have to say.
It's a good-looking Purdue shirt.
John had a good eye.
Oh, man. So there's that. I want to get to, here in a moment, some FSU stuff. This will be hard for me, so I'm going to make it real quick. I do want to acknowledge that a friend of mine passed away. And I'll tell you, this is going to be hard. So, again, you may have read the story in the Tallahassee Democrat, Anthony Washington. I knew him as Ant Dog. Anthony, larger-than-life figure, and young and a great father and a great friend and a great husband, and loved his girls very, very much. And I've known Ant Dog for, a long time now, 20 years. As long as I've been on the air, he kind of became one of the early listeners of the show and one of the first callers way back when I started in the mornings. And I just got to know him over the years. He was a track athlete at Florida State and a good one. And his beautiful wife was an athlete at FSU as well. And he and his wife started a volleyball club, and he was really, really, really well thought of in the volleyball community, and that he and his wife were just excellent athletes, excellent coaches. And I know his daughters. There's a funny story that I would like to tell. Ant Dog, not all that long ago, was telling me and Tom that his daughter, Michaela, anyhow, his daughter was fond of saying, after spiking on people, this. Stick him in your mouth and suck him. And he had to tell her not to do that, and she had picked up the habit because in the car she would hear us play that soundbite frequently. Stick him in your mouth and suck him.
She got thrown out of a game, as I understood it.
I think that's true. And so he and his wife, Latoya, and their 3 daughters good people. And I'll remember Anthony. He was only 43 years old. Staggering. I'll remember you forever, Antog, and love you, buddy. And to the family, I'm thinking of you. I don't know what I can do, and I don't know what I just got done saying how great the listening audience is on the Jeff Cameron Show, and they are. And it's been proven to me over the years countless times. And maybe this show can help in some way. I mean, listen, in some very small way. But we'd like to. And I'm going to go about the process in the coming weeks to find out how. And if I get that information, I know a lot of you knew Ant Dog. Then I'll pass it along, and maybe we'll be able to help in some capacity. Because our listeners in the past, when people have needed it, have certainly stepped up and reached out and wanted to help out. So this is sudden and sad, and I didn't want to do the show without acknowledging his passing, our friendship, and his family, and what he meant. So rest in peace to Anthony Washington, just 43 years old. We'll come back, I'll gather, and we'll do the show, okay? Thanks. Bear with me.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Do you like video games, live music, dancing, and having fun with your friends? Swing by the new Fire Betty's, located in Midtown on Thomasville Road and 5th Avenue. Not only can you quench your thirst, but now Fire Betty's offers a new fun food menu as well. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. There's something fun going on every night, from trivia on Wednesdays to live music on Fridays, hospitality nights on Thursdays, and unique music video DJ Saturdays. Come take a trip down memory lane and make some new ones too. Happy hour at Fire Betty's is Tuesday through Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. And don't forget about Sunday Fun Day with the NFL Red Zone, liquid brunch and drink specials all day, starting at 3 p.m. For catering or private parties, message Fire Betty's on Facebook.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Hey, this is Clay Culpepper with Miller's Tree Service. Summertime is here and storm season is right around the corner. We offer free consultations with a certified arborist where we meet with you and advise you on which trees are healthy, diseased, dead, or ones that may need trimming or even removal.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Give us a call at 894-TREE.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, Thursday and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
It's that time of year again, my friends. That's right, the 6th annual Listener Appreciation Party, also known as Libations Friday Fest, at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Hello, my friend, hello.
This year, it's Friday, August the 25th at 6 p.m. Once again at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. We'll have prizes, giveaways, including a commemorative shirt, courtesy of our friends at Full Press Apparel. Again, that's Friday, August the 25th at 6 o'clock, Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, the 6th annual Listener Appreciation Party, also known as Libations Friday Fest. We'll see you there.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Fisher very pleased with the scrimmage, or so he said. Hey, that's cool. One side made plays, the other side made plays. Very efficient. You always worry about getting penalties, misalignments, communication, getting subs in and out, all that good stuff. A lot of things operationally that I thought were very sharp, much sharper than the first scrimmage. Not that the first was bad, but it was one of the better ones that we've had. And he liked all aspects of his team's play in that scrimmage. He thought the offense was very good, efficient at this time. So, hey, man, it's exciting to hear that. If I can remove the emotion, and it's very difficult to do with a matchup like this because we're all getting pumped. I mean, it's single digits. But if I can remove the emotion and just kind of clinically examine this game, I would just say this, just as an observer and fan and somebody who has to analyze these games and give opinions on these games on the airwaves every week after they're played, I would just be infinitely fascinated by the matchup given what these two programs are and what they've had to replace, where they're at currently, with Alabama coming off a heartbreaking defeat in the national championship and having to replace quite a bit, including a coordinator. It's always a big deal, right? And given what Florida State is in terms of experience and talent and depth, but also the question marks that surround the progress made at the end of last year defensively and whether or not that has staying power early on in a matchup like this. And the two coaches, of course, who know each other and the offseason spent examining that relationship, how it will affect the play calling in this game. One's a defensive-minded coach, the other offensive-minded coach, and hell, the one worked for the other. So you have all these storylines that have been well documented, I know, but they begin to crystallize in my mind now as you get these reports out of both camps about how their teams are looking, areas of concerns. Certainly we know both teams, the injuries that have been suffered in some cases, nothing horrific just yet for any starters, knock on wood. But again, just the ongoing dialogue centering around this game and trying to project. It's a fascinating game because for Jimbo Fisher going against his mentor, he's got certainly a depth of knowledge that not a lot of people have in terms of insight into Saban's personality, preparation, thought process about the game. And you wonder, again, more and more every day how that plays out on the football field in terms of the preparations and things that he has in store for Nick Saban.
Yeah, and as for Saban himself and how he's directing the offense and what he wants to see done, I was reminded yesterday that, Nick wants the offense to return somewhere closer to pro style. And to me, maybe that's the greater goal because he was quoted back in March saying, I think we got a little bit too spread happy. So
yeah, he wants to utilize more balance, yes.
So with Dable back in, I think that's how you pronounce the new coordinator, Brian Dable. in the fold as the offensive coordinator. He's a pro guy, and he can help instill some of those concepts. This isn't the game for that, though. Given what we
I
are,
wouldn't
given
think.
what our weakness
I wouldn't think, no. And given what Jalen Hurts is.
Correct.
Up to now. And the real thing that I have to caution myself, and I would imagine anybody else that looks at Jalen Hurts and tries to describe him as a finished product, inaccurate passer down the field, not real good in the pocket, much more dangerous as a runner than a thrower. That's not fair to him either, as he was thrown in there as a freshman. So how much better is he going to be as a passer from the pocket consistently this year than last, given that you have a new offensive coordinator, and it certainly would be an emphasis in the offseason. And moreover, is it something that you would wish to showcase here? I don't think so. I think even if he's vastly improved, even if he's taken a huge step forward in that department, like you said, well, I don't know that I care all that much if I'm Nick Saban regarding that facet of his game for this contest.
Yeah, given what our defense has done against pro-style offenses and what we've done against spread-style offenses, I would think you'd want to run something closer to what you did towards the end of last year. And while Lane Kiffin can be an a-hole, nobody's going to accuse him of being a dumbass. That dude's smart. And he can scheme up with the best of them. And he knew with what he had, this is the best offense that he could run. These are the rules that he could take advantage of with the players he has, the skill that he has on the roster. So, to me, again, I just find that head-scratching as we approach actually thinking about the chess pieces on the board and how they're going to line up and the way they're going to attack each other. I can't imagine that Alabama, with Jalen Hurts at quarterback, is going to look pro-style for the better part of the 60 minutes that they play Florida State. That would just be, to me, really a miscalculation.
What do you think? We got a lot of people responding to this yesterday when I brought it up, and it's certainly everybody that covers Florida State has made mention of this, made note of this. It's something that is exciting to read about, but it doesn't necessarily affect the season, or so we thought. The idea that James Blackman, a true freshman coming in here, could win the backup quarterback job. Do you think that is plausible? Do you think that's likely? I don't. But we had a lot of questions about it yesterday because we brought up the fact that Jimbo Fisher did say he was going to wait to name the backup quarterback, second-string quarterback, and then continued to harp on the fact that James has had a very good camp. And I reached out to somebody who would know, who's watched the vast majority of these practices, and I asked him just how much of that was hyperbole, how much of that was a coach's verbal reward to a young man who's come in, worked hard to figure out this offense, put in the time, the effort, has had the discipline, and certainly has an upside because Coach wants to reward that, certainly, and he wants to send messages through the media. But sometimes I think there's a little gravitas to that. He goes a little over the top in his efforts. To bolster a young man's confidence, or other times certainly he does something to send another kind of message. But in this case, I wondered, is there anything legitimate to this? Could that kid win the job? So I reached out to this guy, and he said, listen, yeah, it seems rather absurd to suggest that as a freshman he's going to be the backup quarterback. But I can tell you that his ability to pick up this offense, to go through his progressions, and to make throws, and really in tight windows, to make right reads, is not overblown. That he has shown an acumen for the position, for the game, and for the offense that you would not expect for a kid his age coming in here.
Well, coming in here not in the spring either. Hockman was here in the spring, not James Blackman. To me, I think if DeAndre were to go down to injury in game one, first of all, you chalk it up as an L.
Well, Cosentino's going in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it makes week 2 all the more interesting, doesn't it? Because now everybody's going to be watching not just what JJ does or what Hockman did or will do because of what he did in the spring game. Now people are going to be watching James Blackman, and the order of operations, I think, is going to be important there. If DeAndre comes off the field that second Saturday of the season, who's the first to come off the bench and go under center? It's fascinating. It can't be for the Alabama game if things went wrong, though.
I think, no, it's impossible. No, you wouldn't do that to him. You don't want to ruin a kid. That's crazy, right? You would absolutely not do that. But I do think it's exciting to know you got a kid in here at 6'5", throws a pretty ball that we all saw. Throws a beautiful football. He's 6'5". You're telling me he's got the smarts to go with, which is always something at quarterback in a pro-style offense where you're coming from high school where not a lot of teams run that. You always worry about for any kid that comes in. That's why you just never expect a freshman to come in and play. And even if his football IQ is off the charts the way Jameis's was, you knew he wasn't going to play, and they redshirted him. And so you just kind of, all right. But
I think that's the astounding part to me. is that I'm sure they get him the playbook, after signing day. I get that. But that you can come in here with so limited practice time and climb that kind of mountain when you have a 2 or 3 year player in front of you in Cosentino and another freshman who got here in the spring and got real practices with D1 collegiate athletes at the speed of the game. That's just, by itself, that's stunning. If he doesn't take a snap as a starting quarterback or a first fill-in quarterback, second stringer this year, and all he gets is mop-up duty in our games in week 2 and then the one prior to the Florida game, third, fourth quarter kind of work, I don't care, because now all of a sudden you've changed the expectation level for somebody that was perceived to be a project. Now all of a sudden in spring of 2018, you're thinking, can he be part of the conversation? Because
pretty cool.
It's instant. I mean, he's instantly part of the backup conversation.
We go from the positive, which has been that, as we said earlier, the play in the scrimmage was much better. Quarterback play was better. DeAndre looked good. And you have a kid like this playing well. The receivers have played well. We expect a big year out of Izzo. All this stuff. But, of course, the constant here, the wringing of the hands, centers around the offensive line and just how good can they be from day one, because they have to be. They're going against Alabama, but they're also going against 2 other very good defenses early in the season. And when you heard about the Bavion Johnson interview, a lot of people asked the question, well, does that really affect this team? Well, no, if nobody gets hurt, it doesn't really affect this team because he was not amongst the starting 5 at this point at camp. Didn't look like he was going to be able to break into that starting group. He most certainly would have gotten some snaps at some point during the course of the year and been given an opportunity to continue to compete. But he goes down with injury. He has surgery. He's now out for the year. And he was the backup center to Alec Eberle, who had his own injury issues a year ago, well documented, and he's feeling a lot better and playing a lot better, and he's a lot stronger and more flexible, and that's all well and good. Let's hope he stays healthy. But if he does not, then you wonder who is the backup center. Well, after Bavion Johnson went down, a lot of people made the assumption that would be Baselli. Now, listen, I'm not here to just disparage people and be mean, but if you see that kid, you'll note he's nowhere close. He's nowhere close to being ready to play big-time college football. He's just not. Body type-wise, strength, he's not there. If they have to roll him out there at center for any reason, we're screwed. So, no, I don't think he's actually on that depth chart. I don't. And he's missed a lot of time now with injury. He's been banged up, quote-unquote, according to Coach Fisher. Partly, some of that has to be to the fact that he's not ready. He's physically not ready to play football at a school like Florida State.
Well, then you also have Corey Martinez.
That's the only person you have. There's no also about it. He is the only backup you have at that position. Now, what's interesting is that, okay, before I paint a picture of dire straits, Fisher said, look, we've got other linemen that know how to snap the football. We've got other guys that we could put there in a pinch if we had to. And he mentioned, in fact, his quote was, all the guards can snap and play center if they have to. So, obviously, that's interesting because, whenever you're just trying to find the best 5, we've posited that, hey, at some point, if you weren't sure what was going on at tackle, could you put Landon Dickerson out there? And maybe he's not ideal from a arm length standpoint and size standpoint, height standpoint, but could he do it? Who else could you move out there? How would you shuffle the deck, for lack of a better term? So it's nice to know that you have some other options there because it does open the door if you've got 3 or 4 guys that could play center and know how to snap. And by the way, you can't scoff at that. Part of Bavion's problem last year, he's the number 1 ranked center in the class of 2016. So immediately everybody says, oh, well, that guy's going to be competing for the job right away. He's a higher caliber offensive lineman than Florida State's been bringing in recently. So, hey, how about this guy? He's got the size. He's perfect for it. Well, we jumped the gun a little bit there. It's a little unfair to ask a freshman to play, and he didn't. And now this year he's hurt. So maybe long-term it all works out for Bavion Johnson. But, they don't – it's nice to know with some of these other guys, they too can snap and we can shuffle the deck and find some other ways to get talented groups of players from that class that we were so high on an opportunity to compete and join that starting 5. It's just good to hear that it's not only Corey Martinez. I'm sorry to say that. I don't mean it. It's not a knock against Corey Martinez, who has played some. It's just initially I thought, well, gosh, if you've got no Bavion and we know – that Baselli's not ready, what in the world are we going to do? Well, it's good. Okay, got some other guys that can play it. If you have to, knock on wood, you don't. I'm really rooting for Alec Eberle to have himself one hell of a year, given all the injuries that he had a year ago.
And frankly, though, I'm excited to see / dreading to see what the 2 deep looks like on the offensive line now next Monday, when they have to release it for Alabama week. Because, I mean, who's your first reserve?
Martinez.
For the guard position, too?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I thought Bavion was going to be your solution for the interior. If anybody goes down in the interior, it's not like Cole Minshew has been the picture of health since he first got here.
That's correct.
I thought Bavion was going to be part of the solution there for the interior 3. One guy goes down, Bavion comes in. So, I mean, who's your backup guard? And your backup tackles? Obviously, with Juwan Williams going down, and he was one of the candidates in the spring, and he's out for the year. Well, now you're left with Ball as your first reserve for tackles, and then Rubel being your second reserve. But where do these other guys fit in, the Ethan Friths of the world? I mean, who is going to be that first person to step off the bench? I felt so much better. This is why I think the Bavion Johnson injury is bigger,
it's
at least
bad
in my
news.
mind.
No, I don't. Listen, I am not trying to sidestep that as being unimportant or unimpactful. I'm just saying that they have other options, and I was also clarifying for people who asked me that I had somebody email and say, well, they're real high on Baselli. I've cooled off on that train. I don't think they are.
Fair enough, but that even expedites the urgency. It increases the urgency, I feel, because I thought he was going to be the solution for the interior, and then even maybe Dickerson could be flexed out to tackle if you really needed somebody to go out there. And then Bavion comes in and he plays in the interior 3. I don't know. We thought this line was going to be very deep. They are deep enough to field 3 or 4 teams on the practice fields, which is great from a reps standpoint. But how many useful bodies do you have for the 2017 season as a whole when it comes to attrition?
Josh Ball, Corey Martinez are 2 guys that would have that opportunity. Juwan Williams is out now, and obviously Bavion is out, and I don't think Baselli's ready. So Corey Martinez is a guy, and Ball is a guy.
Are they guys? Are they good enough to be just a guy? Are they good enough to be just another guy?
Well, I think Ball probably is. I mean, he was in the running to compete for that job and at left tackle initially, and I know that quickly changed shape. But I will say that with a guy like that, Josh Ball is still a redshirt freshman. It's hard. They don't want to have to play these guys this early, but wouldn't you say that a Frith would be a guy, I suppose, that you could play and if you had to? And we know Brock Rubel's played a lot, so you got other guys.
Yeah, Frith has the size, too, at 6'7", but I guess you could work outside in this case. If you lost somebody to the interior, perhaps you flex Kelly into the guard position.
That's correct, and then you'd have to end up.
And then Ball comes in, he plays either left tackle, or you switch Rick Leonard to left and Ball plays right. So maybe Kelly brings an option to the table that I'm not thinking of, because up until this fall camp, he's been a guard for the most part.
But he has played some at tackle,
right tackle,
so you can use him there. So there's all of that, and then I would think Corey Martinez, Brock Rubel, Ethan Frith, Josh Ball are all viable players off the bench if somebody goes down. And how the combination of which and where you'd use them, that's fine. Those are all players they would turn to. So that's not terrible as we talk it out here, as we vet it. It's not awful. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, there are so few teams that have a depth of talent, frontline talent, in college football anyhow, that you can go to the second and third guy and feel comfortable. I mean, there's a drop-off. There just is when starters go down. A big part of winning national championships or even having an opportunity to is staying healthy. That's a huge component. And you can worry yourself to death before the start of a season thinking about, well, what do we do? What do we do if, this guy goes down or that guy goes down? In truth, most teams are pretty well in dire straits if a big-time starter goes down anywhere, and I know some segments are loaded with more depth than others. So, example, in our secondary at Florida State right now, you've got a depth of talent that you feel very comfortable with in a pinch. But when we're talking about the lines of scrimmage, typically most teams aren't Alabama. They can't just have a starting defensive tackle, a starting defensive end, a starting right tackle, or a starting center go down and not feel a significant effect on their level of play.
Yeah, I agree. And I know I'm repeating myself for the 4th time, but I felt like the 6th man was this Bavion character, man. And that hurts a little bit.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just kind of washing over you today that he's out because we could have worked this. We could have gone through the therapy session yesterday, man. We could have done this.
I'm a little shaky on it. I guess Derek Kelly could be flexed inside, but
yeah,
I mean,
and he's played guard.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like you got no faith in Josh Ball coming off the bench having to play tackle or something.
His name has hardly been mentioned in fall camp, and he was the leader for left tackle coming into fall camp.
But he got supplanted by somebody playing better who happens to be a redshirt junior. That's not such a bad thing. Redshirt juniors should be out playing redshirt freshmen.
They should, but Rick Leonard shouldn't be the bridge between those two steps. And you don't hear about Ball when Rick Leonard takes over the left tackle job, which he was good at anyway in the beginning of camp. Like, what? He was fit for that position anyway?
I think they'd like to hold off on playing these freshmen and redshirt freshmen as long as possible when you're talking about the line of scrimmage. There are guys that are exceptions to the rule, but by and large, you don't want those guys out there. And by the way, when I say Andrew Boselli's not ready, that's not a terrible knock on him anyhow. He is just a redshirt freshman as well. But he has to hit the gym. He's got to change his body. He's got to get a lot stronger. So I'm about to do what I said I wasn't going to do. But anyhow, he's a ways off in my mind. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
The dashboard on your phone, tablet, or desktop. Simple. Indeed is hiring made simple. And simple works. An independent study proves 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. More hires than the rest combined. And right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing in relevant search results and helping you find qualified candidates faster. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
We have more cars than we had last year. You want to put some up here? Then we're going to need a crane again. Yes, that was me, Chris Kraft, up on the roof of the dealership last week looking for a place to store our overflow inventory. But this year we have the perfect storm here at Kraft Nissan because while we have over 400 cars and trucks on the ground, it is also our model year closeout. And everyone knows that the best deals on new cars come when a dealer needs to move inventory. Combine that with model year end closeout incentives and you get the perfect storm of huge savings. And my managers are threatening to keep me up on the roof until we sell a bunch of cars and trucks. So make me a reasonable offer. I'll do whatever it takes to get myself off the roof. Like 0% interest for 6 years on America's #1 selling SUV, the Nissan Rogue, and up to $5,300 in total savings on the red-hot Nissan Altima. Or take up to $10,500 off MSRP on the Nissan Titan with America's best factory truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. And as always, our exclusive lifetime warranty. And they wonder why Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer. 574-4100. And presented by TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia. And Franklin Spring Creek Ford.
If you haven't stopped into Tallahassee's favorite hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill on North Monroe Street, you're missing out.
Hey, it's me, Courtney. Hey, it's me, Marissa.
Last but not least, I'm Kim, and we're the girls from the Fourth Quarter.
Okay, girls, there are lots of great nights to stop in at the Fourth Quarter, including Monday, where it's happy hour all day, including 2-for-1 Wells. There's Tuesday night trivia with Professor Jimmy, where you can win money. What other night should we stop by the Fourth Quarter?
It's Kim again. Join me Saturday and Sunday mornings for Bubbles and Brunch from 7 to 2. $18.99, all you can drink, mimosas and Bloody Marys, and it includes breakfast.
Hey, Riss here. Come join me for lunch. We have over 20 lunch specials for just $7.50, and that includes a drink. I'm Courtney. Visit me on Monday nights when we have 2-for-1 Wells, calls, and domestic drafts all night.
Don't miss out on the girls of the Fourth Quarter. Pick your favorite night and stop in. Say hi to the girls at 2033 North Monroe Street, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill, Tallahassee's favorite hangout.
Got a paint project you haven't started? Now's the time to begin. The Home Depot has Behr Premium Plus interior paint starting at just $23.97. It's a paint and primer in one, so you're not covering the same wall over and over. You paint it, then move on to the next one. We're pouring more into paint with unbeatable prices on Behr Premium Plus interior paint, now starting at just $23.97. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott will likely play in Saturday night's game against the Raiders. Elliott's appeal of his 6-game suspension under the personal conduct policy will be heard on Tuesday. The baseball, where Cubs lefty John Lester will throw a bullpen session tomorrow. He went on the DL last week with shoulder fatigue and a tight lat muscle. According to Elias, last night in Pittsburgh, Dodgers right-hander Rich Hill became the first pitcher in history to lose a no-hitter on a walk-off home run. Josh Harrison beat the Dodgers 1-0 in the 10th inning. Miami Hurricanes quarterback Vincent Testaverde, who never got into a game, is leaving the program. He's the son of Vinny Testaverde, who won the Heisman Trophy with Miami back in 1986.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Gotta let the Colt ride. I'm going to stick on this, and Florida fans will be tired of hearing it probably real soon, but you guys keep screwing up, so what do you want me to do? It's going to be a long year for Florida. Especially when you're talking about Del Rio rolling out there as a starter. Good Lord.
Comes that 7-5 season.
Yeah, can we do W's and L's for Florida again? Two more Florida football players, both who have had off-field issues before, have been caught with weed in their on-campus apartment, according to the University of Florida police. This is an interesting story because I'm not big on, and some of you may vehemently disagree with me. That's fine. I don't care. The point is I'm not real big on getting all upset about people who have misdemeanor possession of marijuana. I mean, it's practically legal. Just be done with it already. But anyhow, it is illegal, and until that changes, there are consequences, obviously. And Vintrell Miller and James Robinson are finding out about those consequences. Police report says a resident – this is the part about the report that I like. because, man, these people are the worst. The people that walk past an apartment and smell a doobie and call the cops. What are we doing here, man? Is that the kind of life you lead? You got to roll past some dude's apartment. They're not even doing anything to you. Nobody else is affected. It's a victimless crime. It's ridiculous.
The only way that's acceptable is
if your kids live next door and you've said, man, I need you to stop with the doobies all day.
Yeah, pretty much. I was going to say if you're across the way in the dorm and the smell is just taking over your dorm and you're saying, can you just go to your room within the, this little suite area? And then they don't. Listen, guys, I can't have this. And then you make the call. But not I'm walking down the hallway.
I'm really going out of my way to try to make sure that we don't have to reach that point, right? I mean, we've all done that where you've been somewhere and people are partying and you're trying to study. I mean, we all went to college. I got it. It happens. But because you like to party in college too, so you don't want people calling the cops on you all the time. And it's just that your schedules aren't lining up. So you got to walk over there and say, look, my man, it's Tuesday. I'm going to need you to slow your roll while I'm trying to study on a Tuesday. Or can you please at least be more considerate? Let's start there. I don't want this. I'm asking. So here's the deal. This is what I'll read the report, and then you go from here. The police report says that a residential assistant walking outside of the Keys residential complex on campus smelled the odor of burnt cannabis emanating in the air. Go figure. You're on a college campus and you smell some weed. Stunning. This was around 12:30 in the morning on a Monday. Mondays can be hard. Mondays are tough. He called the university police. He did he? You think Florida fans are pleased with this particular residential assistant?
Please call the RA first.
I was going to say, or knock on the door. My man, I can smell your weed out here. I smelled it outside. I smell it really bad as I come inside. Got to check yourself. You're going to get busted. I don't want you to get busted. For God's sakes, we're playing Michigan soon. He called the police immediately. Geek. The police showed up at the apartment, knocked on the door. Robinson opened the door. They smelled the weed immediately. Officers came in. They found a cloud of smoke and a styrofoam cup the police say appeared to be used as an ashtray. Officers asked Robinson where the weed was. He said, it's right there in my top drawer. There were 2 very small bags of weed. Robinson and Miller admitted each to owning the bags. Both players were issued a notice to appear, and that was that. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. Robinson is a highly touted freshman wide receiver, previously was cited with marijuana possession during his official visit at Ohio State. So he went on a visit to Ohio State and got loose with the weed.
It's unlucky.
He is cited frequently, brazen with his weed smoking. Got to be better. You got to find a way. There's a guy in my neighborhood when he does yard work.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in the back. So his place, I got to be careful. This one part of the neighborhood, but I think just the way the wind most often blows, I will occasionally step outside on the weekend onto my deck.
In your backyard?
And it's just like, woo, my man. And it's always after yard work.
Is it always the good stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's, I'm like, all right, my man is having a good time.
It's like walking down Santa Monica Pier. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh, that was something. That was something else. Yeah, but I'll be out there. I'm usually cooking fish or some form of seafood, and I'll go step out there on the grill. And I'm like, well, must be Saturday. Yard work weed day for Jerry over there. Jerry's got a combination.
Whacking weed, smoking weed.
He's like, weeds are going down today. That's how this is going to be. Anyhow, so yeah, but you could just knock on the door.
My roommate in Iona that one semester, his name was Ed. We were in one of those things that had a common area. Mm-hmm. It was the dorm room had a common area to itself, and then there were 3 rooms within the dorm. And Ed wasn't in my room. He was in the one next to me. But Stoner doesn't do him justice. I mean, Ed, good.
He was all in.
Yeah, he was.
We all know that guy.
He was an athlete for the university too.
So are these guys.
Yeah. He was
Yes.
not on a big scale. I mean, water polo player at Iona is not the same as football player in Florida.
But you have to be in great shape to play water polo. Unbelievable strength and stamina is required to play water polo. So that's amazing.
Dude was one of those Stoner smart people.
Sure.
Like, he was in all the advanced classes. But
Frequently are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he was a freak athlete.
Yeah, they got to escape their own mind.
But I would, yes,
yes,
very,
they do.
very much so. This is his story.
Yeah.
I would acquire perhaps a 40-ounce beverage of sorts.
It can happen.
And
in college.
I would bribe good old Ed, and I'd say, Ed, here you go. This doesn't smell. So if you can do this instead and enjoy this beverage while I try to sleep. Because, I mean, it would go through the vents into the bedroom, and you got a cloud while you're trying to sleep.
But the problem with that is you're giving him something that's worse for you than what he's using, and so
worse for Ed, but not worse for me.
Oh, man. Anyhow, listen, this in and of itself is just what, right? It's minor. But here's the thing. I'm just thinking to myself, when you think of the offseason for Florida and you have a quarterback criticizing the fans, one that the fans don't want to see play quarterback, you've got another kid that was highly touted in Felipe Franks that, I mean, really, we're still waiting on you to grab this job? I mean, that suggests some issues with his abilities to grasp the offense at the very least at this stage, right?
Oh, man, if you were doing radio in Gainesville, at what point would have you been doing two fingers to my eyes?
Yeah.
Maybe last year?
Well, the reports, if you talk to people who cover the University of Florida, I actually have a friend who does, those aren't good reports about him. That's not, they don't feel like he's clearly ascending. They don't see that. He's not upwardly mobile at this point.
May have outsourced to South Bend for that reason.
Well, yeah, and then you bring in that guy, and we know we know a little something about what that's like.
Not good.
No, and and frankly, the guy they brought in really only ever had one good game. So this is a toughie.
I should note, still good enough to beat Miami.
Oh,
Still good enough to beat Miami.
Well, and made a big throw and wore it on the option.
He did.
So that particular night, he gets nothing but love from us Noles.
Oh, yeah, hit Bobo on that third down pass.
Hit Bobo on the third down pass, probably the most important and best throw he made as a Nole, and then also waited to the very last second, as you're wont to do in that play's design, to pitch to Dalvin, who pieced and told the Canes, yet again, I'm fine. I'm healthy, especially while playing you.
Remember how the field looked that night, too, because he was kicking up the sand?
It was, yeah.
I liked it. It made him look faster.
Well, he is already super fast.
He is.
Yes. Miami found that out right there, right on that play, and several others. Had his hamstring not seized up on him on the one, he might have ended up with 400 yards rushing. My man was off to the races every time he faced Miami.
He was. It was incredible.
I like talking about it. I think we should bring it up more frequently. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, I'm Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. Some roofers are like a bad boyfriend. They make lots of promises, but in reality, they're just cheap. They don't own up to their mistakes, and they leave you with a lot of regret. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. At Parker Brothers, it's quality that builds our quantity. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Do you like video games, live music, dancing, and having fun with your friends? Swing by the new Fire Betty's, located in Midtown on Thomasville Road and 5th Avenue. Not only can you quench your thirst, but now Fire Betty's offers a new fun food menu as well. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. There's something fun going on every night, from trivia on Wednesdays to live music on Fridays, hospitality nights on Thursdays, and unique music video DJ Saturdays. Come take a trip down memory lane and make some new ones too. Happy hour at Fire Betty's is Tuesday through Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. And don't forget about Sunday Fun Day with the NFL Red Zone, liquid brunch and drink specials all day, starting at 3 p.m. For catering or private parties, message Fire Betty's on Facebook.
Bama versus FSU.
Down the sidelines, touchdown, Seminoles, rumbling all the way to the end zone, touchdown, Bama.
ESPN Tallahassee's Jeff Cameron is headed to Atlanta for Bama Beatdown. Brought to you by Fred Conrad, criminal defense lawyer. Remember, don't blow it. Call 222-4005.
Got a paint project you haven't started? Now's the time to begin. The Home Depot has Behr Premium Plus interior paint starting at just $23.97. It's a paint and primer in one, so you're not covering the same wall over and over. You paint it, then move on to the next one. We're pouring more into paint with unbeatable prices on Behr Premium Plus interior paint, now starting at just $23.97. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, and our thanks again to all the fine folks that we're involved in, or with, I should say, for tomorrow's 6th annual Libations Friday Fest and listener appreciation event that we do every year. It's at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Real quick, again, a reminder for those of you who are interested in this. Again, it's just a big thank you. So hang out, come on by. Let's have a beer together if that's your thing, and chit chat about the upcoming season. That's great. The first 250 in attendance will get a free event T-shirt from our friends, of course, at Full Press Apparel. Shirts are done. We're picking them up today. Should be great. Looking forward to it. And so if you're one of the first 250 that get there, you get yourself a shirt. And also our thanks to Saltwater Seafood Company, Cigar City and Oscar Blues, also Kalon Country Club, Metro Deli, Jersey Mike's, Games for Less. My man Butch Bundy, PGA Tour professional over there at Kalon Country Club. He'll give you a 30-minute lesson. War Chant, of course, Seventh Hill Tap Room, and in the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill themselves. So we got prizes. That's the point. Prizes and things to give away. Giveaway list is pretty deep, so it'll be a raffle, and you'll have a chance to win those gifts from our supporters there, and the raffle begins at 8 p.m. But arrive early. because the fine folks from Crown Royal will be there also making the rounds, offering product samples for those of you that are 21 years of age or older. And again, thanks to every one of you who are participating or coming out or being part of this event. It's just our way. It's a small token of our appreciation of saying thank you for being loyal listeners and friends of the program and supporters of the program and the station.
I'm looking forward to it because that means, like we've said all week long, once this event concludes and all the hands have been shook and all the hugs have been given, the cheers, the toasts, you name it, we are now 1 week away from football, like our football. We can watch football on Saturday, but our football is 1 week away.
Yeah, and this event is the final check mark, typically, right, of all the checks you do to signify that college football is back. This is the final check mark. Sad as we all are that the old check mark used to consist of the game itself coming out. At Games for Less, we would go and pick up another college football campaign. But anyhow, the point would be this is always the final check mark, our listener appreciation party, and you're right. And it's the event, by the way, goes from 6 to 9 p.m. Many people will linger after, that's fine, but the official event begins at 6 and ends at 9. Tom and myself will get there around 6:20. Got to do the show, so we'll finish the show, and then we'll race on over and hang out with everybody.
And then at the CP for the night, Tom and the Cats will be performing. So if you want to stay for live music, as we conclude, they take the stage. You will be thoroughly entertained should you want to make a night of it tomorrow at the Corner Pocket.
Good times abound. We'll see you there. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Pocket Bar and Grill, the 6th annual Listener Appreciation Party, also known as Libations Friday Fest. We'll see you there.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility, says it's summertime, and summertime is the time to go green and save energy. Here are a few simple things you can do right now that will save energy while you try to keep out of the summer heat. First thing, get your air conditioner checked out and change your air filters. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much energy and money you can save. Going away from home on vacation? Why not purchase a programmable thermostat to regulate your air conditioner while you're not at home? Talk about an investment that'll pay energy savings dividends. Make an appointment right away for a free energy audit from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. You never know how much energy you can save until you do it. The City of Tallahassee is offering insulation grants. Why not apply for one? Did you know that the City of Tallahassee offers loans to help with the purchase of solar water heaters? Visit talgov.com/YOU for information on loans and rebates. So stay cool, go green, and save energy all summer long. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility.
Brent, this month's topic is classic song lyrics. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Here's a lyric. American history, practical math. You study them hard and hoping to pass.
It's from School Days by the great Chuck Berry. He wrote and recorded so many great hits.
You mean like TNT Supercenter sells and services so many top golf cart brands with an enormous selection all under one roof?
TNT Supercenter customers can compare the top golf cart brands side by side. Club Car, Yamaha, Star EV, and the ultimate hunting vehicle to beat. TNT Supercenter has the largest selection of carts in the area. Pre-owned carts starting at just $19.99. New carts with a 4-year warranty starting at just $49.99. And at TNT, our service center and service technicians are trained, certified, and authorized for every brand we sell.
And there's plenty of parts and accessories too, right?
Our parts inventory is huge, and we'll dress up your existing cart with a full line of Mad Jack's premium accessory products like seat kits, light kits, lift kits, and now for a limited time, save 20% on all of Mad Jack's parts and accessories.
TNT Supercenter, US 19 South, next to Dairy Queen in Thomasville, and online at TNTSupercenter.com.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott will likely play in Saturday night's game against the Raiders. Elliott's appeal of his 6-game suspension under the personal conduct policy will be heard on Tuesday. The baseball, where Cubs lefty John Lester will throw a bullpen session tomorrow. He went on the DL last week with shoulder fatigue and a tight lat muscle. According to Elias, last night in Pittsburgh, Dodgers right-hander Rich Hill became the first pitcher in history to lose a no-hitter on a walk-off home run. Josh Harrison beat the Dodgers 1-0 in the 10th inning. Miami Hurricanes quarterback Vincent Testaverde, who never got into a game, is leaving the program. He's the son of Vinny Testaverde, who won the Heisman Trophy with Miami back in 1986.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello. Good looking out. Thanks for watching the program if you're on YouTube. And thanks for listening to the program if it's on your radio or streaming on your computer. That's cool. Or the app, whatever it may be. Email the show if you like. It's jcs at 979espnradio.com. Find me on Twitter at Jake Cameron Show. The WTSM app is good for your mobile devices. And that's all mobile devices. You should be good to go there. And, yes, we're good. We're all caught up. That was a really kind of just an easy way to note all the different methods.
That was super concise, yeah.
Archived audio is in the audio vault upon the conclusion of the show. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show because, again, it is a full-on. Hey, you know what, folks? This is a true thing that's happened. I'll give you a peek behind the curtain. So Tom called me today, and we were kind of comparing notes because we got a lot of things going on right now, and we want to be on the same page. And he said, hey, I've been working on a montage I want you to hear. And Tom puts together the montages, and he's excellent with the editing and has been for years. And we usually do these things together. I don't like it if he does it on his own, not because I don't trust him, because I can't do the editing that he does. He's an expert at it. But I've got a good ear for things, and we usually play off each other. And so I'll say, I need you to do this, or I think this should be here, and why don't you insert this here? See, it's easy from afar when you don't know how to edit the way that he does, or as efficiently as he does, to say, hey, do this and do that. Anyhow, so we do that, and we have fun with it. But this one he did all on his own. He took up, he took the I'm trying to think of what the hell the thing is called.
The mantle?
Good Lord. He didn't take the mantle.
The first one I've ever done on my own.
Well, you took the, What do they hand off in track and field?
The baton.
The baton. Sweet Jesus. I'm tired today, folks. I've had a lot on my mind. Sorry. You took the baton and you ran with it, and that's cool. But, you know, we usually run together. I wanted to.
I can tell that hurt you. Man, I've done some on my own before because you're too damn busy sometimes.
Well, but not usually. Usually, I mean, you edit everything. You do all of that. It's labor-intensive, and that's on you. There's no doubt. But the imagination behind it is a joint product. That's you and I sitting down, comparing notes, deciding what would sound cool. I usually suggest the music. There's all that stuff. And so I thought, all right, well, he's going solo here. That's okay. That's okay. But I appreciated that you let me in on the process. And the point of all that is this. I got to hear it, and it's lacking only because we don't have the highlights yet to put in there in the parts where we're going to have highlights. But the montage, the point of all that is to say the montage will be done over the weekend, and we will play it for you on Monday. And I'm looking forward to it. I want to hear the finished product because the guy who's doing the voiceover is really good, and he's an employee with our company, and we know him, and he's got a perfect voice, and so Bob is his name, and Bob did the voice for this, and he could read anything. He'd read a grocery list. It wouldn't matter. You'd just be it's a little bit like James Earl Jones, right? You just, this is CNN, yeah, and you're just okay. Well, that's good. This is awesome,
right? So he's at the deli line, like. So I'm sorry, how much did you want?
Yeah,
a quarter pound of roast beef.
That's right.
Yes, you do.
Can you say that again one more time? So I'm looking forward to it, but it just was another indicator that here we are, gloriously so. It is time for football.
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, pal.
You didn't hurt my feelings. I like being part of the construction, and I like being part of what, being on the ground floor as we get it started. But, I can't fault you for taking the initiative. I can't fault you for being so excited that you said, I should get crack-a-lacking on this montage.
Well, the thing is, to do it the right way for this particular idea I had in my mind, you couldn't do it on Monday. That's the problem with the montage sometimes, is that all you have is Monday to go get it done.
Yeah, you don't have enough time. Yeah.
Because we're thinking about it on Sunday. I mean, you got to go rewatch the game a little bit and you hear how the announcers call the plays, because, frankly, sometimes your play-by-play announcer just blows it. So you have no chance to have any compelling content whatsoever. It's like, and there's another touchdown. Like, Fowler sucks at it. I'm sorry, man. But if you look at the national title game, he's like, he scores. Like, that's the Jalen Hurts touchdown to take the lead. The penultimate touchdown in that game, which could have been very well the final touchdown in the game. You might want to give me something a little bit more. It's kind of like Musburger for the 13 championship game with the Kelvin Benjamin touchdown. I guess he had punched his way out after the Trey Mason touchdown that he scored after running over Jalen Ramsey.
It probably hurt his wager.
That's what it sounded like, didn't it?
It certainly did, yeah.
You know who? Well, come on, man.
So, hey, listen, this is an aside. You know how everybody is watching very closely to see how this arms race is going to play out, and the monies accumulated from television contracts and the like, how they affect schools in this conference, the ACC, and by way of comparison, is it going to be competitive long term with the kind of money we see the Big Ten and the SEC bringing in for their networks? And I saw – how many of you watched this thing last night? I saw where – I think it was on ESPNU. They were going to do a thing on P.J. Fleck. And, of course, P.J. Fleck is the new coach there at Minnesota. And, whatever, go for athletics, right? But I'll watch. Okay, you kind of draw me in. Have you seen the money they're spending for Minnesota and what their facilities look like? If you haven't watched this thing, you need to watch it. It's incredible. I was blown away. There are many facets of what Minnesota's doing for their football program and the money spent on the indoor practice facility and all of this other stuff that surpasses that of Florida State. Now, when you decide to invest and you go after P.J. Fleck, and obviously he's pretty unique. He's not everybody's cup of tea. High-energy guy. Sometimes you wonder how genuine that is from afar. I've never met the man. I don't know. But I will tell you that show highlighting the investment into Golden Gopher football being made by Minnesota, coupled with the hiring of P.J. Fleck, suggests that Minnesota is not going to suck forevermore, that they're hearkening back to the 40s. They're going to do something that they once did and haven't done for the better part of 70 years. And I'm not kidding you, Tom. The special itself will make you want to watch Minnesota football closely in the coming years, because it would seem to me that they can't help but take steps forward. And also, it's a reminder of why Jimbo Fisher and other coaches always want more, because it's not just Alabama or Clemson or other schools in the South that have long ago thrown their hat in the ring, as I like to say, and are invested in winning in order to eat from the money trough that is college football, big-time college football. It's a whole bunch of other schools you might not be thinking of. Schools like Minnesota, who you would never guess, are investing, and in some areas, investing more than a school like Florida State is in their football program. So I get it, and I've said coaches, it's almost their job to continue to ask for more, and so many times the response, the counter to that is, where does it end? Well, agreed, we can have this conversation, but until there's a finish line, until we realize, okay, this is as much as you can do, or the NCAA steps in, whatever that must be, it's places like Minnesota that Jimbo has no doubt seen, that make him and other coaches like him say, look, man, this is Florida State. In the modern era, Florida State and Minnesota aren't in the same field. They don't belong in the same conversation. Historically speaking, obviously, Minnesota has had some success. You go back and look at the record books, you crack up. But so have a lot of schools like Cincinnati and San Francisco, and schools that don't have any success anymore. But it's amazing. I urge you to find it. I don't know what it was called. I came in after it had started. Go for Athletics, PJ Fleck, keywords, look it up, and you'll be able to find this special that just ran. Riveting. And I do think, the other thing I do think is that he probably was the perfect hire for them. High-energy guy that the players are going to relate to and love, and he's all in because the university is all in.
We'll see, though, that this is a good litmus test for, what can you do with geography? Can you overcome geography? Because you're giving a school a dynamic coach who hasn't failed yet, right? So he's at least what he's spitting on the recruiting trail is going to be considered gospel. Sure. He hasn't lost yet. Then you have the facilities to go along with it at a non-traditional university. So here is a great test to look at from afar and see if it takes.
How much can you win, yeah.
Yeah, how much can you win at Minnesota? Well, here's your chance to find out, definitively speaking, how much you can win at Minnesota, save for, in retrospect, finding out that Fleck just can't coach at all. But if you think facilities are a big damn deal, here you go. Here's the argument. If you're an AD who doesn't want to spend the extra $10 million, $50 million, whatever it may be on facilities, then you're rooting for this guy to fail because you say, well, that's great. Minnesota's got a great facility too. But you know what they're doing? Absolutely nothing. What they've been doing for the last 20 years.
I was blown away. I had no idea. And if you watch again that special, you'll be blown away too by how much Minnesota is investing. And, again, sometimes that's all well and good, like you said. But if you're stricken by geography, and we all know that, people aren't flocking to move to Minnesota. So
population trends.
Well, sure. And
maybe the earth can heat up quicker so that Minnesota could become a destination.
Well, listen, I love Minneapolis, and I love that area in the summer. And I have visited there, and I've been there and spent some time there. It's awesome.
The lake houses?
Oh, it's great.
Man.
But, hey, by the way, enjoy your couple of months out of the year where it's nice.
Be up there in about a month's time.
Yeah.
I can tell you what it's like in September. It'll probably be a little chilly.
I bet it's beautiful. I mean, listen, I am envious. This is one of the things that I'm always reminded of at the start of college football season is that, yes, I don't really want to live in the Midwest, of course, but I will tell you that when football starts and by week 3, the noon Big Ten kickoff, Pam Ward is getting ready to call the game. I sit down and I think, well, what crappy Big Ten game is on? And let's get our day started here. Let's warm it up. And I'll catch somebody in a sweater or a little windbreaker. Week 2, week 3.
Looks like a soft sky and a soft sun.
Yeah. Nice little pullover or something.
Yeah.
And I think, well, it's probably beautiful there today. Maybe in the 50s.
Then they show the tailgate lot.
Oh, yeah. Just a few people, a sweater, pullover, a little jacket, somebody smoking a cigar. I think, damn, that would be all right. When I step outside of my house, it's 98 and humid. I'm not nearly as happy. I'll grant you that in due time, the weeks go by and you look out and you go, Camp Randall looks brutal tonight. That would suck. 62 here. I think I'm going to watch the game on the deck.
Yeah, the people are, they're kind of smiling, but they can only smile so much because their faces are frozen.
Yeah, they're saying this is going to be this way for a while, guys.
Their eyes are
squinty.
Squinty.
Yeah. I do think it is a team that will be interesting to watch over the next 5 years. It's going to take some time. And I am curious. Listen, the Big Ten actually has two interesting stories because Brahms over there at Purdue, right? See if they can get any better. I don't know if you can win big at Purdue. I just
even with facilities
I
and
just
a
don't know,
dynamic
man.
coach.
I don't know if you can. There are schools where you go, ooh, I don't know, man. It's lipstick on a pig. I don't know.
But aren't we going to find out at more universities than just Minnesota, given what the contracts are television-wise for the Big Ten Network and for the SEC?
Well, right. That's the other thing I was saying. Is like you want to monitor just what that trickle-down effect is for the schools that are middling to subpar, historically speaking, to the bigwigs of the Big Ten. Obviously, when you think of the Big Ten, you think of Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State. That's what you identify. At Michigan State, maybe in recent years, certainly. Iowa, maybe.
Yeah.
That's about that. We're really pushing it now.
Feels weird that Nebraska is in that conference, but yeah.
It feels awful. Doesn't feel right at all. It still angers me. It doesn't make any damn sense. They take their ass back to the Big 12. Let's get on with it. It's silly. Just like it doesn't make any sense that Maryland. Well, it does make sense that Maryland would be there, I guess, but it doesn't.
Well, I like it. I didn't like them, and upon review, you know what? I don't miss them at all. Get the hell out of here.
Well, if we're booting teams from conferences and we're going to bring up the mighty ACC, I think the first candidate to be booted is not one that I would agree with. Everybody says immediately, get rid of either Syracuse or Boston College. Nay. No. I'd get rid of somebody else before that. But because I like going to Boston.
Wake?
I like having a reason to go to Boston. I'd feel bad getting rid of Wake because that is very go ACC. Wake's got that.
It is, but their enrollment is so damn small.
It's tiny. Yeah, I don't think they can win, long term, of course.
Every time we
go to conference has got a few of those.
Every time we go to a bowl game and they don't, they get the same amount of money.
We just got to restructure. We don't have to kick them out. Just restructure
based upon enrollment.
Do SEC folk want to kick Vandy out?
They probably bring up the
they bring up the collective GPA. Yeah, the standards. Yeah, no, you got it.
We already got Duke.
Yeah,
we're good.
We're not kicking them out, right?
No.
You want to kick Vandy out if you're in the SEC? You probably want to kick Kentucky out if you're in the SEC. No, not for basketball. You can't kick Kentucky out. What am I talking about?
Arkansas?
I forgot there were other sports. Well, Arkansas wasn't always there either. Missouri. Why the hell did you bring Missouri in? That was dumb.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Is almost here, but you can't afford to go because ticket prices are through the roof. Don't worry, we got your back. Anytix.com offers you the lowest price tickets, guaranteed. Anytix.com doesn't mark up tickets. Anytix.com has zero. That's right, no buyer, seller, or service fees. For a small monthly fee of $9.99, you get access to all their wholesale tickets. Go to Anytix.com today. That's Anytix, Tixx. Enter the coupon code ESPN Tally and get 20% off your subscription. Anytix.com, changing the way you buy tickets.
Fire up the grills for another season of Seminole football.
2nd and 3, patient, then explosive, and a touchdown for the Noles.
It's Tallahassee Game Day, your ESPN Tallahassee pregame show featuring Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Yeah, I like them.
Get the latest news, interviews, and insights 3 hours ahead of kickoff before the Noles defend home turf.
Hey, on Saturday, we're going to play a game. We're going to most likely win that game, and we're going to celebrate on Sunday.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Whole Foods Market, a leader in natural and organic food that brings the highest quality of local and global products to Tallahassee. Whole Foods Market, located at 1817 Thomasville Road, and presented by MMT Clinics of Florida. Visit MMTCFL.com.
To the pylon! That's a Seminoles touchdown!
Got a paint project you haven't started? Now's the time to begin. The Home Depot has Behr Premium Plus interior paint starting at just $23.97. It's a paint and primer in one, so you're not covering the same wall over and over. You paint it, then move on to the next one. We're pouring more into paint with unbeatable prices on Behr Premium Plus interior paint, now starting at just $23.97. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
We have more cars than we had last year. You want to put some up here? Then we're going to need a crane again.
Yes, that was me, Chris Kraft, up on the roof of the dealership last week looking for a place to store our overflow inventory. But this year we have the perfect storm here at Kraft Nissan because while we have over 400 cars and trucks on the ground, it is also our model year closeout. And everyone knows that the best deals on new cars come when a dealer needs to move inventory. Combine that with model year end closeout incentives and you get the perfect storm of huge savings. And my managers are threatening to keep me up on the roof until we sell a bunch of cars and trucks. So make me a reasonable offer. I'll do whatever it takes to get myself off the roof. Like 0% interest for 6 years on America's #1 selling SUV, the Nissan Rogue, and up to $5,300 in total savings on the red-hot Nissan Altima, or take up to $10,500 off MSRP on the Nissan Titan with America's best factory truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. And as always, our exclusive lifetime warranty. And they wonder why Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. So Alabama struggling with the kicking again. All right, that's what I like to hear. Alabama, I'm reading now, AL.com. Alabama has had a difficult relationship with its field goal kickers for some time now, judging by Nick Saban's comments after the scrimmage in fall camp. I think we have things to work on relative to some of the other areas in the kicking game. Missed a couple of field goals. We had a couple blocked because we didn't really have good protection. So we really need to work hard on that part. Kicking, kickoff returns seem to be doing really, really well. I think we have to develop confidence in that area. It's not just the kicker. It's the protection, the holder, the whole operation. We need to do a lot of work in that area. So I'm counting. It's three times where the phrase "a lot of work" is necessary in the kicking game for Alabama.
Not enough. Need a lot of work. Need to get a lot better.
Well, it's exciting to hear. It's exciting to hear that they're struggling with that. They're not up to this point. struggling to adapt to offensive coordinator Brian Dable and absorbing the new offense. I haven't properly, I don't think, I suppose, taken that into account when predicting that Alabama is going to beat Florida State, as I have this week. I probably should lend more credence to that. I don't know. I know that the team, Alabama, University of, is reviewing New England Patriots film, and they're watching closely from Dable's time there with the Patriots. And the question isn't whether he's going to turn out to be a good offensive coordinator or not. I think he most certainly will. It's whether or not they can absorb that offense and play it and execute it and know it without thinking about it, because you tend to slow down. You lose a step when you have to think. And so that'll be interesting.
Well, and to run that offense with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, Brady's running that offense in the pros. So I don't know that you're going to get quite a pocket presence return on investment the same way with Jalen Hurts that you do at the next level with the Patriots. May want to, break off.
You don't think he's like Tom Brady?
You
don't think he's going to be breaking down defenses, reading defenses, going through his progressions, getting the ball out on time and rhythm?
I think you might want to keep some of the wrinkles you had, perhaps the substance of the playbook from last year.
I think you should put him under center, practice the 3 and 5 step drops, have him go through his progressions in a timely fashion, try to put it on him.
Against this defense?
Oh, they should absolutely do that, Tom. Yeah. That's what they should do.
I recommend Alabama does it as well.
Yeah, it's a fine recommendation. Hey, I will also note that Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's really freaking good and playing all over the field so far for Alabama in these practices and scrimmages, they're doing with him what we're doing with Derwin James. They've got him moving all around. He played some money. He's played star. He's played traditional corner. He's played everything. So it will be interesting to see how they utilize him, much the same way I'm sure they're thinking about how it is that Florida State is going to utilize Derwin James. I can tell you that Florida State will be utilizing Derwin James in a variety of ways, but he too is a guy you'll see at star because, hey, look, while we got an important piece of the puzzle out for a half, I think it makes sense.
There's no doubt. And the question is, I know they liked what they saw at Hamsa in fall camp.
Loved what they saw at Hamsa in fall camp.
All right, does a freshman make it on the field, or is that Nate Andrews' spot to make sure everybody gets lined up correctly?
It's a position that a freshman can make it on the field, even in a game like this. Yes, that is a position where it could happen, but Nate Andrews will be on the field, of course.
For that first half, at the very least, yeah. And then you got to know who's going to be on the outside for corner number 2, and if you have a 3-corner set where you have Derwin playing money, and he's also lining up close to the line of scrimmage, is it Taylor on the outside and Kyle Myers in the slot? Is it vice versa? How exactly you're going to mix and match that group?
Don't you love that versatility and depth of talent to have this conversation? That's what I get excited about, right, is that you have the players that are malleable in that way.
But I want to know if McFadden, we don't typically do this, but will McFadden follow, Ridley around? Is that what they're going to do?
It's what you read. It's what you hear, right, that they're gonna match up with their corners and move them around.
Yeah.
So, hey,
typically we play boundary and field, and that's what we do.
I think they're going to move them around. But I will also say something, too, that I think is kind of fun. Yesterday we were talking about the size if McFadden is back returning punts, and then we talked also about kickoff return with Keith Gavin and Derwin James. Man, I mean, count me amongst the many that can't wait to watch Derwin James returning kicks. I know a lot of people hold their breath, but Jimbo has a long history, as do a lot of teams. It's not uncommon, of putting their most dynamic players, even if they are starters elsewhere, back there and kick and punt returns. I mean, it makes perfect sense. You can talk about some of the greatest players in Florida State history that did it, and they didn't really worry about injury. You can't play the game that way. I get it. I know a lot of people say, I'm a little iffy on this, but I understand it. The difference here is that, in fairness, just looking at the mass, the sheer size of guys that are involved in returning in special teams. Keith Gavin, again, we all remember him specifically for one play last year, and it's the play against Michigan in which he was indecisive and then came out and changed the game in Florida State's favor by running over people. But Big Cat hopefully more decisive, I would imagine, in camp he has been to get the nod. And then Derwin is a freakish athlete and a huge guy. I imagine being on a kickoff coverage team, going down there to have to run into those guys. That's a different animal.
If Gavin catches the ball too and James has an opportunity to lead block for him, that's great. Who would you want as an escort more than somebody like a Derwin James who has the speed to get to an edge and then the power to just run over somebody? He can do it on the offensive side in a sense. As for punt returns, I want to win those hidden yardage battles this year. We
haven't in a long time.
But I think for the Alabama game, just catch the ball first and foremost. Prove to me you can catch the football, get to the football, and catch the football wherever it is.
Well, you can't have a situation like you had last year where Nooney Murray against Michigan and then took a year and a half to try to get back on the ball. Yeah, no, that's I want to be real sure. You know what's amazing? For as good as Florida State's been, and by and large they have, but go back and remember the feeling of being excited about a punt return because of Greg Reed. Like, it wasn't a situation where you watched it play out and thought, okay, catch the ball. No, you never did that. You didn't do that. You thought, this could go to the house. I mean, you couldn't wait. It was a highlight film waiting to happen. He could make you miss in a phone booth, the whole thing, right? So what you did, and he was fearless. But after a while, once he earned your trust and once he proved that he was elite in that category, you kind of sat back. You couldn't wait to watch somebody punt. And all we've done in recent years is go, please don't drop it, please don't drop it, please don't drop it. That's all we've done. Rashad Green, you name it. That's all we've done. We've gone, oh, man, looks a little iffy. I mean, that's the other thing. When you watched Greg Reed do it, there was an air to him, a confidence to him. I mean, he exuded it. You couldn't help but note as soon as he got back there, he couldn't wait to make a play. It was sort of, catching the ball? What the hell are you talking about? I'm going to catch the ball. Don't worry about that. It's about what I do once I most assuredly catch the ball. Now, when you watch guys go back and drift back on a ball, you're like, I mean, don't you? It's like a tight wire act. You're just sort of, you're on a tightrope. You're going,
it's Brady Hoke.
High wire act, tightrope. Yeah, you're kind of.
It's Brady Hoke.
Yeah,
that's them.
Yeah.
Like, sizing it up.
Running game. Ooh. Yeah,
the wind may be blowing.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. You go catch it. I called the Rashad Green fumble against Clemson. Remember that?
God. We had just climbed all the way back. That was 2012.
I told you it was going to happen. I'm like, well, this is going to happen because he didn't, and he's good at it in the NFL.
Yeah. No, you could see the ball bounce off the chest plate into their hands, and you just go, oh, jeez. Or the second catch, it's like a crow hop for an infielder. You just go, oh, man, I guess something bad's coming. It's fine, this play, but it's coming. It's a ticking time bomb.
So I guess to the larger point, yes, it would be nice to get back to watching a guy return or field a punt and feel that level of confidence where you sit up confident, getting ready to either get up and get you something to eat if you're watching at home, because as soon as he catches it and the play is over, there's going to be a little lull, but you're not sitting around thinking about what happens now. Is he going to catch it? Will we get some yardage here to flip field position? Can we put ourselves in an advantageous position, or is this just, okay, good, he caught it. All right, good fair catch on our own 8. Okay, all right, there you go. At least way to hold on to the ball.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. tough when it gets rough. Like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
8400 right now to find out more about the Triple Play advertising campaign and begin growing your business. It's football season. Everybody's listening. Call me, Travis Kelly, at 561-8400 to partner your business with Tallahassee's Sports Monster.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. All systems cleared for launch. Initiate launch sequence. T-minus 3, 2, 1, mark. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
You are now off the couch and out exploring the world.
Roger that.
Get charged up for what's coming next anytime, anywhere with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
RCD Shell knows how to keep you cool and refreshed. All 20-ounce Pepsi and Mountain Dew products are 2 for $2.22. That's right, 2 for $2.22. And 28-ounce Gatorade is buy one, get one free. It's more fun with Pepsi and Dew, so bring on the bubbles with these cool prices at RCD Shell.
At the Home Depot, free carpet installation means free carpet installation. And free includes clearing out furniture, ripping out old carpet, hauling it away, even carpeting stairs, with no hidden fees. Free installation on carpet $699 or more means free installation. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately.
Bama versus FSU.
Down the sidelines, touchdown, Settle, rumbling all the way to the end zone, touchdown, Bama.
ESPN Tallahassee's Jeff Cameron is headed to Atlanta for Bama Beatdown. Brought to you by Fred Conrad, criminal defense lawyer. Remember, don't blow it. Call 222-4005.
What am I going to do about Joey? He's staying so overwhelmed with homework, assignments, and tests. He's working so hard, but I don't know how to help.
Hi, I'm Lance Davis. Let Engaged Academics help your child learn how to cope with the stresses of academics. Visit engagedacademics.org for more information. That's engagedacademics.org.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott will likely play in Saturday night's game against the Raiders. Elliott's appeal of his 6-game suspension under the personal conduct policy will be heard on Tuesday. The baseball, where Cubs lefty John Lester will throw a bullpen session tomorrow. He went on the DL last week with shoulder fatigue and a tight lat muscle. According to Elias, last night in Pittsburgh, Dodgers right-hander Rich Hill became the first pitcher in history to lose a no-hitter on a walk-off home run. Josh Harrison beat the Dodgers 1-0 in the 10th inning. Miami Hurricanes quarterback Vincent Testaverde, who never got into a game, is leaving the program. He's the son of Vinny Testaverde, who won the Heisman Trophy with Miami back in 1986.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
We're going to need to work hard on Brent Venables and Tony Elliott getting jobs elsewhere. I think Venables is ready, Tom. He's ready to be a head coach. You know how old he is?
47.
Damn fine guess out of you, sir. He's 46 years old. Now, he makes a lot of money, and he doesn't plan on leaving Clemson anytime soon because he makes a lot of money. But, I would guess that Texas Tech will be in search of a head football coach very, very soon. And given the fact, as I read yesterday, that Kirby Hocutt, they're the AD at Texas Tech, and Brent Venables are dear friends, I thought, well, that phone call could be made right now.
Lubbock, huh?
It's a head coaching job, Tom. They don't grow on trees.
They don't know what hit them if they have Brent Venables as their coach.
Could you imagine Texas Tech going from Cliff Kingsbury to Brent Venables? But that's how those things are done, right? When you go all in one way and it doesn't work, you got to hire a guy from the other side.
Well, moreover, back to the Leach days. I mean, they're used to playing 55, 53 football.
Yeah, for lack of a better term, sorry football, Arena League football. Difficult to watch, passive nonsense.
Well, there is no better term. Arena football will do.
Yeah, that's it. So they most surely have to certainly have to think about hiring Brent Venables. It's the right hire, and I think we should start the movement for Texas Tech to write their program, find an air of respectability for Texas Tech Red Raider football with the hiring of one Brent Venables.
Yeah, what was that quote that we saw from the anonymous ACC coaches? It's incredible how Clemson is able to install concepts that specifically give you problems on a week-to-week basis. They're able to communicate concepts differently week to week based upon what offenses have trouble with in the upcoming opponents.
Imagine how that would sound to you Texas Tech Red Raider fans. Making a stop, let alone several, in a football game. And you know who does that for you? Brent Venables. Brent Venables does that for you, and he can do it starting next year. It's a little late in the game right now, but next year, after Cliff Kingsbury screws it up again this year, it is time to bring in Brent Venables. I'm just a guy trying to help programs out in need. I just watch from afar, and I see guys that I think are good fits, and I make suggestions. And the suggestion here is that Brent Venables has no business being a coordinator. He's proven himself time and time again. Dabo Swinney has done a fine job of bringing in coordinators, and Brent is the latest. And I think Dabo would be happy to put his arm around Brent and say, "You did a fine job for me, sir. Go make your own way out there in the Big 12 as head coach of Texas Tech."
If Dabo had to lose him, he wouldn't mind that. Well, okay.
You're over there.
He's a great coordinator, but he's for Texas Tech. Not going to see them in the playoff anytime this century.
I think it would be a devastating loss. Honestly, I think it would be, it would be everything.
Conversely, yes, he could take a pay cut again. Dabo could take a pay cut. I'll make $500,000.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, guys. It's going to take another $1 million. Brent has been offered a head coaching job at Texas Tech. I'll take $5. Let's keep Brent here. I'll continue to
and meals
chalk up the wins. I want to keep my parking space. I like my parking space as well. So meals, my office, and a parking space. Brent gets the rest. We're going to keep our winning ways rolling here at Clemson. No, he's a guy, though. At 40, I didn't realize he was only 46. And, there's an article Sports Illustrated wrote about, up-and-coming assistants, up-and-coming coaches at various programs. And as you kind of familiarize yourself with who's where again and who are you going to be watching, and I just got done saying we'll be watching P.J. Fleck at Minnesota because it's an interesting development there in the Big Ten where Minnesota is investing gobs of cash to try to bring some sort of respect to a program that's largely middling to subpar. By the way, thanks to Adam, who wrote in on the YouTube feed, ESPN Tallahassee YouTube feed, that the special I was referring to earlier about Minnesota football and about P.J. Fleck is Being P.J. Fleck, Sleeping Giant. That was the name of the special. So if you want to see what it is I'm talking about, to a greater degree, and you prepare to be wowed, maybe even angry. Because I watched that thing, and I was riveted by what they were showing me, but at the same time, I thought, man, this is why Jimbo gets really pissed off. Minnesota looks like, at least from this special, that they have better facilities than Florida State.
Stan, it's me. You see what they got going up, going for football?
I'm telling you, I would have, if I were Jimbo, I would have called Stan and said, put it on 396. Go ahead, Stan. Click. Because you would have been in wow.
Text message. Do you see? Do you see, Stan?
Yeah.
All caps. Do you see?
Yeah. You would have been wowed. You would have been in awe. You would have been, it's crazy.
Text message LOOK. All separate text messages.
Look at it there. Look at that. Beautiful.
Picture message.
Yeah.
I know you're watching it, but I took a video to send to you anyway.
It is remarkable. I was envious sitting there going, well, I'll be damned, they got that. That looks beautiful. Look at that.
It's a selfie video, and Jimbo's frowning, and he's got it on in the background on the TV.
He sends it out to the viable donors.
I'm going to Snapchat it to the boosters.
He puts it out on their little iPads like he does the players. Oh, I see you studying. Good job. Look at this facility.
Which he can tap into at any time.
Anytime. It's me. How you doing?
He's working on the game plan, and he thinks,
3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, God, this receiver, I got to check on him.
Yeah. Coach, I'm sound asleep. Too tired from studying? It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
In cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
The big game is almost here, but you can't afford to go because ticket prices are through the roof. Don't worry, we got your back. Anytix.com offers you the lowest price tickets, guaranteed. Anytix.com doesn't mark up tickets. Anytix.com has zero. That's right, no buyer, seller, or service fees. For a small monthly fee of $9.99, you get access to all their wholesale tickets. Go to Anytix.com today. That's Anytix, T-I-X-X. Enter the coupon code ESPN Tally and get 20% off your subscription. Anytix.com, changing the way you buy tickets.
Bama versus FSU.
Down the sidelines, touchdown, Settle, rumbling all the way to the end zone, touchdown, Bama.
ESPN Tallahassee's Jeff Cameron is headed to Atlanta for Bama Beatdown. Brought to you by Fred Conrad, criminal defense lawyer. Remember, don't blow it. Call 222-4005.
We have more cars than we had last year. You want to put some up here? Then we're going to need a crane again.
Yes, that was me, Chris Kraft, up on the roof of the dealership last week looking for a place to store our overflow inventory. But this year we have the perfect storm here at Kraft Nissan because while we have over 400 cars and trucks on the ground, it is also our model year closeout. And everyone knows that the best deals on new cars come when a dealer needs to move inventory. Combine that with model year-end closeout incentives and you get the perfect storm of huge savings. And my managers are threatening to keep me up on the roof until we sell a bunch of cars and trucks. So make me a reasonable offer. I'll do whatever it takes to get myself off the roof. Like 0% interest for 6 years on America's #1 selling SUV, the Nissan Rogue, and up to $5,300 in total savings on the red-hot Nissan Altima, or take up to $10,500 off MSRP on the Nissan Titan with America's best factory truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. And as always, our exclusive lifetime warranty. And they wonder why Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
At the Home Depot, free carpet installation means free carpet installation. And free includes clearing out furniture, ripping out old carpet, hauling it away, even carpeting stairs, with no hidden fees. Free installation on carpet $699 or more means free installation. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. And, I'm looking at the amount of games for Saturday. How many of those are you wagering on, Tom? I mean, this is that reeks of desperation, but just out of curiosity, I did not start up the Redemption Thursday train today.
I noticed that. I didn't know if that was a deliberate decision because you're waiting for Florida State or what was behind that.
I wrestled with it. I was torn. I'm probably going to we'll talk about some of these games to begin with tomorrow, but it just didn't feel like there were enough of the Redemption Thursday wagers out there for this first week. There's only really 3 kind of viable games.
Well, yeah, you know the saying, the night is darkest just before the dawn, It's kind of where we are right now on a Thursday of the first pseudo college football week.
It's not a pseudo college football week. They're playing football on Saturday, buddy.
Yeah,
it's football that's going to be played. You're going to watch it. Me too.
Stanford's a 30-point favorite over Rice. You know what I mean? Like that's the highlight game of the day.
Well, but that's it. Isn't that?
It's in Sydney or someplace in Australia.
Yeah, but it's at like 10:30 at night here, right?
Yeah.
So that's not the signature game is the
USF San Jose State,
Colorado State, Oregon State. Colorado State, yeah. You don't think so?
Maybe. I mean, I'll be watching the Bucks game for sure on Saturday because that's a preseason game that counts.
First of all, at noon, the first thing you're going to do, Tom, is get up and watch the Florida A&M Rattlers get after it against Texas Southern, and that's a noon game on ESPNU. All right.
I would actually watch that.
Of course,
and
you
I will watch that.
Yeah, of course you will. So we'll watch FAM. Hopefully they'll get the win.
They're doing stuff around the house on a Saturday,
late
late morning, early afternoon.
Yeah, so we'll watch FAM and hope Tallahassee gets off on the right foot. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Good times. And then from there.
Would be very cool to be able to invest in a FAM program that, could win 7 or 8 games.
Well, and I sure hope so. I mean, Florida A&M has been down, and we hope that certainly it's on the cusp of turning around. It's again, I've mentioned this countless times as somebody who's been able to live here for a good chunk of time now, over 20. Good Lord, I have lived here for a very long time.
25 years.
It's 2017, 91. Yeah, so yeah, more. Yeah,
ooh, more than a quarter century.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, well, it's very much my home, and I love my community. So it's I just know that I was here at a time. When Florida A&M and Florida State were simultaneously great, and it's just a great vibe. It's just an energy that it's a community that it's alive every week. You just get excited. I don't know, and I'd like to see a return to that. And I think Florida A&M is moving in the right direction, so we might get it. But the point of that is that at noon they play. And then from there, you get all these other games. And so it's not a pseudo-college football weekend. It's a real one. It's just not enough games for us to latch onto for a Redemption Thursday.
Fair enough. How about a Hell to the Gnaw tomorrow, though? There's some big spreads this weekend.
Oh, I'll throw around some Hells to the Gnaw. Yeah, we got that. We got to bring that baby back. Woo-hoo! I'm ready. Yeah, that'll happen. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic, backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. All systems cleared for launch. Initiate launch sequence. T-minus 3, 2, 1, mark. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
You are now off the couch and out exploring the world. Roger that.
Get charged up for what's coming next anytime, anywhere with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
RCD Shell knows how to keep you cool and refreshed. All 20-ounce Pepsi and Mountain Dew products are 2 for $2.22. That's right, 2 for $2.22. And 28-ounce Gatorade is buy one, get one free. It's more fun with Pepsi and Dew, so bring on the bubbles with these cool prices at RCD Shell.
Out on the golf course, there are the obvious hazards. There's the pond, the bunker, the rough, the even rougher.
Yeah, put me down for an 8.
The giant maples. The row of houses out of bounds on the right. The angry flock of geese who've surrounded your ball. Even the occasional groundskeeper you had no clue was there. But if you think you found every possible hazard out there, think again. The hazard you missed could actually be a killer. It's the spot on your skin, the one that could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Hey, this is Clay Culpepper with Miller's Tree Service. Summertime is here and storm season is right around the corner. We offer free consultations with a certified arborist where we meet with you and advise you on which trees are healthy, diseased, dead, or ones that may need trimming or even removal.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Give us a call at 894-TREE.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott will likely play in Saturday night's game against the Raiders. Elliott's appeal of his 6-game suspension under the personal conduct policy will be heard on Tuesday. The baseball, where Cubs lefty John Lester will throw a bullpen session tomorrow. He went on the DL last week with shoulder fatigue and a tight lat muscle. According to Elias, last night in Pittsburgh, Dodgers right-hander Rich Hill became the first pitcher in history to lose a no-hitter on a walk-off home run. Josh Harrison beat the Dodgers 1-0 in the 10th inning. Miami Hurricanes quarterback Vincent Testaverde, who never got into a game, is leaving the program. He's the son of Vinny Testaverde, who won the Heisman Trophy with Miami back in 1986.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. Soon enough, I'll be able to say Libations Friday, and soon enough, I'll be able to say Redemption Thursday. And that's because football's back. And, oh, by the way, on that note, you should, I hope, make your way out to the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill tomorrow at 6 o'clock. It is our 6th annual Libations Friday Fest, a listener appreciation party. We want to say thanks to you. So if you're one of the first 250 or so folks that walk through the door, and you'll be getting a T-shirt for free if that's you, commemorating the event as brought to you by our good friends at Full Press Apparel. Excited about that. And we have all kinds of giveaways for the raffle this year, just as we did each of the last 6 years. And we have so many people who kind of help out with this, and we want to thank them right off the bat. Saltwater Seafood Company, Cigar City. Hey, by the way, it's really hard to walk past all those beers and not maybe snake one.
At least the room temperature, which kind of prohibits that.
How many do we have out there? That's a lot.
That's a lot. You got 8 6-packs worth and a couple of 12-packs worth. That's
good
right.
Stuff. So we'll get the mixed 12-packs of Cigar City Oscar Blues deliciousness, a couple rounds of golf from Killarn, $25 gift card to Metro Deli. We've got office lunches as catered by Jersey Mike's. We've got 2 $30 gift cards, Games for Less, 30-minute golf lesson from my man Butch Bundy, PGA professional at Killarn, warchant.com. Going to give away an annual subscription to Warchant, plus a T-shirt and a tumbler, $25 gift card to the 7th Hill Tap Room just below Corner Pocket, which is awesome. I think 4 of those. That's fantastic. 2 100-wing, 3 domestic pitcher wing feasts, I should say, from CP. And everyone in attendance receives a free raffle ticket to win all 4 prizes, all of our prizes, not all 4. And we will begin the raffle at 8 o'clock. The event ends at 9 o'clock. If you get a chance, swing by. It's a good time. It always is. It's always a great way to usher back in football and kind of capitalize on the excitement around the upcoming season. In a way, again, for us to say thank you in person for listening to the show, supporting us, whether that's our advertisers or if it's in fact, just your listenership, we couldn't do it if you weren't involved with us as loyal as you have been. So we appreciate it.
Had a couple things as days gone on, too. A 50-wing feast over at the Hooters, as well as the tasting from the folks at Crown. Crown Royal will be around for those 21 and up at the event tomorrow. You get some free tasting. So, yeah, more than the T-shirt if you're 21 and up and you're down. Maybe you could try some product.
Good times. You're going to have fun when you get home. If you watch SportsCenter or wherever they bother to show actual sports, you can see a fight today. That's right. Little day baseball ended up in a fight. Miguel Cabrera was quick to throw guy, not having it. Little words with the catcher.
Hey, what you going to do, boy? I'm going to punch you in your Hey, do it then, boy.
And there it is. Yeah, that's what happened. So, and it's actual punches thrown, so that's fun. It's not your normal baseball fight where there's a few, I'll do this, I'll do that. Here's a little pushy, and now everybody gets in between us. Nope. Hands were thrown, so look for that when you get home. Florida State is ready to play. It's what it sounds like to me. Now, we did kind of fret a little earlier in the program about a lack of depth, perhaps, at center because of problems there with Bavion Johnson and his surgery, and in my mind, Baselli not being ready. But what I'm referencing is Jimbo Fisher's comments and how he has been very positive and upbeat lately about where his team is at. And now that we're T-minus, 9 days until this first game, it's good to hear that from the scrimmage, you've got a quarterback playing well. You got an offense that's able to make plays after being largely dominated in camp by the defense. Again, defense is always ahead of the offense, especially when it's a good defense. And this one we think will be. But that the offense is starting to make strides. And he basically characterized it as pretty balanced and efficient on offense in this latest scrimmage. That is good news indeed.
We're doing some good things. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and I think in addition to that, just again, knock on wood, but now install is underway, and we're looking at basically what I would describe as a very successful camp from the groups of people we needed to see step up. Your receivers that have a lot of talent, well documented, but are now being asked to be the guys, have had a good camp. Coach Fisher described the offense as explosive and efficient in the most recent scrimmage. And he praised DeAndre Francois' play, making good decisions, giving his wide receivers opportunities to make big plays. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we saw at the open practice.
Yeah, that's what we saw. And we know that in between the open practice and this latest scrimmage, DeAndre and the offense were having a tough go of it. Frustration had begun to sunk in with DeAndre. I think they're throwing the kitchen sink at him, Tom. It's my understanding that basically Jimbo believes, and I think rightfully so, and certainly he knows Pruitt, he knows Nick, he knows their weapons on defense, their athletes on defense. Hey, look, they're going to come after DeAndre. They're going to put pressure on Florida State to block it up. They're going to stunt. They're going to do a lot of things that could confuse DeAndre Francois, and they're going to make him show them that he's capable of checking the right protections and that he's able to kind of efficiently run this offense and understand this offense. And I think there was some frustration involved because Coach Fisher wanted the defense to ratchet it up. And to hear that then DeAndre played well in the scrimmage and came out the other side of this camp, if you will, that's a good sign.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday from the perspective of the two defensive coordinators and what is your goal here. And for Alabama's defense and Pruitt and Saban as they get together and game plan for us a week from this Saturday, which, okay, finally, fewer than 10 days now. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
It's that, how about this offensive line? So we kind of talked about it from the offensive line's perspective, not necessarily Francois' perspective, but you got a lot of newer players, younger players. They're still green, unproven in a lot of cases. So why don't we see if they can handle the responsibilities? Even if DeAndre checks you into the right protections, are you good enough to do it? Because we're Alabama, and we bring a different level of player to the table. And then conversely, if you're Charles Kelly, and Jimbo's going to have some input, I can't imagine he won't, about what the game plan is going to be for our defense against Alabama's offense, yeah, you should bring the kitchen sink too to see if Hurts is capable of making downfield throws and downfield decisions. He hasn't proven to be able to do that consistently.
Not consistently. I mean, he's got, that's the funny thing with him. It's you see that he completed 62% of his passes a year ago. Then you read the stat about how often Alabama threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and those are the safe passes that everybody should be able to complete. And even still, that's a relatively low completion percentage for the amount of passes as you throw behind the line of scrimmage. But it wasn't like the kid didn't show signs of being able to throw the ball down the field. He's got a big arm. If he takes a step forward, it's going to be a fine year for Alabama, to say the least. They don't need him to be great. Alabama's won most years, even their national championships, without being great at quarterback. But it is interesting that they bring in an offensive coordinator that's installing, basically New England's offense. And you're talking about a pro-style offense. You're talking about a guy who's got to sit in the pocket, read defenses, go through his progressions, check, do all those things, throw the ball accurately. Do we, and we were speculating about this in the first hour, do we suspect that will be, in fact, how they play this game? Because it doesn't seem to be, to me, the strategy you want to employ against Florida State. I'd be running Jalen Hurts all over the place.
Yeah, and I would say this. Some of it's got to be smoke because if you're running true pro-style concepts, I mean, New England does have spread concepts in its offense. It's just they don't have a quarterback who's a running threat. but you're talking about 4 and 5 wide sets. You have zone read looks at times where it's a play action and it's a shot up the seam. So they do have some concepts that you see and you would associate with spread over pro style. It's just, to me, I don't think you're going to be seeing Hurts line up under center for 80% of this game. You're playing right into Florida State's hands. You're trying to run the ball up the middle and set up play action. Oh man, that's what Michigan did. That's what Miami tried to do. You probably want to do something that our opponents who lit us up would do, what Clemson did, what Ole Miss did, and you have a quarterback who has the legs to run that type of offense.
Yeah, they do, and I suspect that's exactly what we'll see. No matter what they're trying to implement there, I know he wants more balance in his offense. He wants to utilize other aspects of what they can bring to the table offensively than what they did a year ago, which is, in Nick's mind, probably rely too heavily on Jalen Hurts in the spread and his legs. But you can't change a guy overnight. And while he does have a big arm, and we do think he'll develop in due time, I mean, how big a jump can he make in 1 year in that category, which is passing the ball from the pocket accurately, reading defenses, those kinds of things. I mean, plus when you're such a unique talent as he is running the football, he's like a running back. He's not just a guy who's mobile, as they say. He's a guy that is really dangerous. So is DeAndre. This is a game I imagine we're going to see both quarterbacks run an awful lot because both defenses come into this game as the strength of their teams, as a group that, traditionally speaking, certainly at Alabama, I know they've got a lot to replace, but they traditionally replace that with really talented players, and their secondary is very, very good, whereas we looked at that as a bit of a weakness a year ago. I think they'll take a step forward at the back end of their defense. But so both these teams come in with talent and experience on defense, so you gotta find a way to even the playing field, and you do that by running your quarterback. It's a math situation. It's a numbers game, and I think both will do that. I really hope, and I know you get a bit squeamish, I really hope Jimbo runs the hell out of DeAndre in this game. I've wanted, in general this year, I'd like to see more of it because DeAndre's really good at it.
Yeah, DeAndre's got instincts in the open field. Hurts is the better of the two runners, but that does not mean that DeAndre doesn't bring something to the table.
Well, he's good at it. He's really good at it. Yeah, he's got good instinct to it. Yeah, he's good.
Good vision and good timing when to set things up and when to just go and hit it as hard as you possibly can.
Just has to get down, man. Just has to get down. He takes too many shots, and I love guys with a competitive nature and flair that allow them to want to get that extra yard. I mean, we never shy away from watching guys, rooting for guys like that. I mean, think about, my goodness, Ponder took shot after shot after shot. They could never get that guy to slide, but that's how you become beloved by the fan base. At the same time, I need you. Not much in the way of backups right now.
But think of all that you could do. I mean, we are fawning over the receivers, and rightly so, about what they could be, from a size and skill standpoint. You got the two, tall receivers on the edge, with Gavin being an all-everything potential superstar. Then you got Nooney Murray, who's built more like a slot receiver, but certainly has a game-breaker ability too. But how about this? What if the backfield features a Jaquez Patrick and a Cam Akers, which they've talked about running a lot of two-back sets and pony sets, and DeAndre's back there? And what are all the options that you can bring to the table from a running the quarterback, running an option in the open field standpoint, not just direct runs where DeAndre's the only option on the play, where he could pitch the ball and give it to one of those dynamic athletes in space and make a decision, key on a defender. There are many, many options there that look more like the early days, like you're saying, of the Christian Ponder offense, or when E.J. Manuel would come in on a short week because Ponder wasn't healthy enough to play. But there's no doubt that he's going to call a lot of plays designed for 12 to run the football. He has to.
I would love to be a fly on the wall or a man sitting on the couch watching Jimbo Fisher prepare and implement the game plan this week, this upcoming week. I would love to see him going through film and how his mind works, trying to decide what you keep in, what you let go, what you're going to utilize, why. I mean, again, when you talk to him about any game or any offense or any defense, it is immediately revealed how much he knows about football, and not just the X's and O's specifically, but the origins of a play, of a scheme, and how it best suits his personnel. A lot of fun.
Here's an over-under X's and O's question for you that all Florida State fans know and love, and we really haven't seen too much of it in the last few years. But let's say we run a lot of two-back sets out of the shotgun, and let's say that Vickers is one of the two because he wants a lead blocker out there. Over under 2.5 weak side outside zone runs with
don't
Vickers.
Don't do it,
and Jaquez
Coach.
Patrick leading the way.
Don't do it.
Over under 2.5 of those short side plays to the fullback, because I think that's a good number, right between 2 and 3.
I'm going under.
You're betting with your heart.
No, I'm going under against Bama. I don't think he's going to think that's a real good idea.
Clearly it sets other things up.
Well,
because
no,
he
it
runs
does.
the hell out of that play.
Well, no, it does set other things up. We understand that, but against Bama, man, that is death. No, let's not do that.
Loss of 2 on the play.
2nd and 12, not what we do. Now, as much as I'm telling you, I think that he runs DeAndre quite a bit in this game, I do think we're throwing on first down. I mean, Jimbo is a quarterback's dream play caller as far as giving you a chance to succeed. He is a huge believer, as a former quarterback himself, in obviously giving yourself an advantage there, because defenses can't play you dishonest. They got to play you straight up on first down. He'll throw the football in that situation.
The good news on the offense is that you have weapons at every level. You got weapons, obviously, at receiver, but then you have slot weapons, assuming that you're going to put, like I said earlier, Tate and Gavin on the outside and let Nooney operate in the middle a little bit when you roll 3 wide receivers out there. Then you also have Izzo. So if Minkah Fitzpatrick is lining up in the slot and he's going to play star, well, then all of a sudden, let's look to the outside and let's probe and see what their corners are made of. Of course, Alabama's corners are always going to be at the top of the game, but when you're talking about the size that a Gavin or Tate bring to the table, go let them make a play. Like Jimbo said after scrimmage number 2, giving our players chances to make plays. If they have a focal point member of their defense, is DeAndre going to be smart enough to see, well, okay, he's in the slot in this play. All right, he's on the boundary this play, or he's on the field side this play. Let's go here. Let's stay away from Minkah and see if we can pick on some of the other secondary members, because they're vulnerable there, I think.
Minka's going to be all over, though. He'll be all over the place. They'll move him around much the way they're going to move Derwin around for us, so it'll be interesting to see how we match that. As an aside, just a cool stat released earlier today from ESPN Stats and Info, because we're 7 days to college football at the time that it was released 7 days to college football. All 7 FBS head coaches in the state of Florida have won a national title, either as a head coach, assistant coach, or player. Did you see that stat when we were 7 days away when they released that?
Wow. Does make sense, though. It does make sense.
So, obviously, Fisher, McElwain did as well as an assistant. Scott Frost when he was at Nebraska. Charlie Strong, Lane Kiffin, Butch Davis at Florida International. It's crazy.
And then Richt, yeah. Not as a coach, though. A head coach.
Definitely not as a head coach.
Georgia fans are still searching for it. Maybe this is the year.
Georgia's going to have a good year. We're picking them to win the East. You're picking them to win the East. I'm picking them to win the East.
Sounds like a broken record.
Do they beat Florida? Because they could win the East without beating Florida.
They should do what we do, not let Florida score offensive touchdowns.
That's a good way to beat them, typically. Just prohibit them from scoring.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
And 28-ounce Gatorade is buy one, get one free. It's more fun with Pepsi and Dew, so bring on the bubbles with these cool prices at RCD Shell.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth.
I'm Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. Some roofers are like a bad boyfriend. They make lots of promises, but in reality, they're just cheap. They don't own up to their mistakes, and they leave you with a lot of regret. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. At Parker Brothers, it's quality that builds our quantity. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Charlie is all over the place. He's so unorganized. How do I get him to be more responsible with his academics? I've tried everything.
Hi, I'm Lance Davis. Let Engaged Academics help your child learn how to work through these common issues. Visit engagedacademics.org for more information. That's engagedacademics.org.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. 800-298-5783.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Bandito's Burritos, my friend?
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Just an aside, I get fandom, I get passion. What the hell's the deal with people burning jerseys? First of all,
for a player who got traded,
it makes zero sense to be burning Isaiah Thomas jerseys if you're a Boston Celtics fan. Given that my man played a game for the organization a day after his sister died. There's no lack of commitment to the organization and level of professionalism ever exuded by Isaiah Thomas. Don't be a dumbass. That's ridiculous.
This is the problem of this day and age, social media and the way it's covered. Sound like Jimbo, but the point is, when LeBron made his decision, the first one, and he went to Miami.
When he peed on the faces of the fans of Cleveland.
And he burned, or they were burning his jersey.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is also stupid.
Yes, that started it all. It glorified that. The way it was covered glorified the idea of burning the jersey. So now every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to do it when every player leaves their market.
It never occurred to me to burn a jersey. I mean, it takes effort and time. It's dumb, too. Like, think about you'd say, oh, I'm going to get this jersey. It's a waste of money, and then I'm going to.
Hey, man, you want to come over? I'm about to burn that Isaiah Thomas jersey.
Yeah, that bastard got traded. What? What in the world? It doesn't make any sense. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I knew fans did ridiculous stuff. I just didn't know that it'd become now like commonplace for it to happen. And I saw that and I thought, well, am I forgetting something? Did he slight the fans? Did he? Oh, no, that's right. He played a game the day after his sister died. Oh, yeah, so the opposite.
Man, Heat fans burned LeBron's jersey when he left to go back to Cleveland after bringing them 2 titles.
It's bizarre. By the way, you know what kind of bad year the Mets are having? Michael Conforto, your only good player, got hurt today.
Yeah, dislocated his shoulder or something.
Great. Yeah, I have him. Any Met I selected, Tom, both of your elite players. I cursed him. I can't do it anymore. I don't want you to be miserable forever. And obviously, it's of no use to me because they're all going to get hurt. I took Thor as my number 1 pick in the draft. Peace. And then I got Conforto and peace.
Well, you could have picked about 80% of the roster and they would have been hurt.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I should have picked a bunch more and it would have turned it around, maybe. It could have had the weirdest effect. But just taking those two, I most assuredly made a commitment to their injuries.
Yeah, there's my World Series pick. Up in flames.
Well, hey, listen, I actually, all kidding around aside and everything like that, Conforto's a great player. I hope he's going to be all right. I mean, he's a really good player.
Shut it down. If you need to shut it down, shut it down. Don't do this thing that they always do, which is, he'll be fine a couple of days and he'll be back in the lineup, and then he's back in the lineup for 6 innings, and it's a year-long injury, So let's just shut it down. There is nothing to be gained from these last 5 weeks. I know my Mets brethren out there who watch the Mets every night. Guys, stop. You know what? Check the box scores. Look at the highlights. Give yourself more hours.
It's agony.
In your
Why
life.
would you do it? Yeah.
Give yourself more hours. You can watch all of Dom Smiths and Rosario, the young studs. Everybody goes through this. Braves fans I've been used to this for a few years now. You get the young studs coming up when the rosters expand. Watch the highlights of those guys at bats. You don't have to do this whole thing where you watch 3 hours a night.
You know who's not enjoying this conversation and certainly not boo-hooing anybody else's problems is young Matthew behind you, who's Phillies. I know you once thought we're moving in the right direction.
They look like they were last year in the first 60 games or so.
Yeah. Take a look at them.
There's still a comparison between the Dodgers' losses and the Phillies' wins.
I stopped looking. I need to... It's something. So we have this question that just came in, and real quick before the break, I'll do this for you, Kyle. He writes to both of us, catching up on yesterday's show. Can you guys do W's and L's for Florida versus Florida State's schedule? Let's see the difficulty of
that's a great question.
Yeah, I like it too. So this is W's and L's for Florida if they were playing Florida State's schedule.
W's.
Wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost! We f***ing super lost, man!
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall? All right, so Florida would open with Alabama if they were playing Florida State's schedule, and they would lose by 6 touchdowns. We'll take Alabama big.
Yeah, that's a game where Alabama will try hard, unlike the SEC title game. So I think that margin would get up there around 40-50.
All right, so 0-1. Then they would beat Louisiana Monroe, we think. So they'd be 1-1. Then Florida would play Miami, and that's a flip of the coin. They would be playing them in Gainesville.
At 8 p.m. All right, if you want to be fair about it.
Well, that's what. Okay, so some things on here are season savers or the impetus for a swoon, and that would be one of those games.
What's the best segment on the field? It's got to be Miami's defense, right?
Or Florida's defense, sure.
I think Miami's is better. This Florida defense thing, I don't know, man. They lost their best safety to injury like 2 months ago.
Man, they're going to be good. They've got good players on defense. They'll play good defense. They will. They won't be as good. There's going to be a drop-off, no doubt. They lost a lot of players to the NFL. It's tough, but man, they got defense. I mean, they've been able to continually recruit sound defensive players.
Miami's got a killer front seven.
But we don't know if Miami can score on the road in Gainesville with a new quarterback. This would be week 3. It's the very problem they're going to have coming here.
But they're going against Del Rio.
Well, we don't know. I mean, it's a 3-headed monster down in Gainesville.
Okay, Franks is coming in for a series. Woo!
I'm not real comfortable.
They're probably longing for Trey Burton to come back and run a series or 2.
Oh, good, sweet Jesus. You know who they're really wishing they still had and they should have never kicked off the team is Will Greer. That was really freaking stupid. I don't care if that man snorted cocaine off the desk of Jim McElwain's office. You do not kick him off that team. You get him the help he needs, and you move forward.
Hey, Coach, I like to call this shark attack.
No, it's crazy. Anyhow, that's a toss-up, man. You're going to give them an L. I'm going to give them a home win over Miami. It's close. It goes either way.
Yeah, all right.
It wouldn't shock me at that point if they were 1-2. I've got them 2-1. They're going to lose. They'll lose either to Miami or NC State.
Okay.
So at that point,
you got them at 2-2.
I got them at 2-2 through 4. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you have, Matt?
Probably 2-2.
All right. So we both got them 2-2 against our schedule. If Florida were us, then they'd be playing Wake. They're 3-2. Then they'd be playing Duke on the road. Duke's got a good offense.
Yeah, this conference is better than the SEC. You got to keep reminding yourself, especially the East. You got to remember that.
That's kind of. I'm not prepared to assume a win over Duke for Florida, but I'm going to give it to them. They'll be 4-2.
Who's got the better quarterback?
Duke. But Duke will say that a lot. They'll be able to say that a lot this year, not just against Florida.
All right, 4-2. I agree.
4-2. Florida against Louisville in Gainesville.
It's a loss.
Man, we were like the only team that couldn't stop Louisville last year to that extent after the midway point. Like, okay, early Louisville moved the ball up and down the field on everybody and against us big time. But then several teams found a way to at least slow them down.
Florida still has to score points against any of these opponents at some point.
Louisville's defense is whatever.
What, so Florida drops 17 and they win? They're going to have to score 24 to 28 points. That ain't happening, but maybe 2 times all year.
Houston held Louisville to 10 points, man.
Houston would have beat the snot out of Florida last year or this year. That team would have. They beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, but then they have terrible losses.
Well, they don't focus all the time, but they would focus for Florida. It's a big, Power 5
So
opponent.
you're going to give Louisville – okay, so we got 3 losses for Florida at this point. They would beat Boston College. They would beat Syracuse.
That Boston College game would be an all-timer now. It really would. I'm not kidding.
And it's on the road on a Friday night.
Oh, buddy.
So, anyhow, we're giving them wins there. So they have 3 losses right now. They beat BC and Syracuse. They would lose at Clemson. So they have 4 losses, and then they would have to play us at the end of the year.
Right. And instead it would be a doke if we really flipping this thing.
Flipping this thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 7-5, just as they would be right now with their current schedule.
Yeah, 7-5, as according to Tom. So you're going under on that 8 total from Vegas for Florida.
Yes.
You going to put your money where your mouth is?
Can I? You know a way?
Oh, I know people.
Okay.
I know people. I want to see this bet. You're going to go under 8 wins for Florida.
And the thing is, if I'm wrong, that means that McElwain gets to stay for another 2 or 3 years. So that's great news. But I don't think I'm wrong.
I'm going to do a side wager with you here. I mean, I think Florida will win 8 games.
Is it 8 flat or 8.5 out of curiosity?
We'll double check during the break.
Jeff
8.5. Oh, yeah, that's too many. I think 8's a good number.
8 is a good number.
8's a real good number. I think they win 8 games, which is good enough not to fire him. So he'll just be sitting over there, average ass every year.
Won 2 out of the last 3 SEC East titles.
That might be good enough to win the SEC East again. Playing for your annual ass kicking in the SEC championship.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Rose Street or call them at 222-2532.
We alarm our houses and we alarm our cars. But when it comes to your personal information, it can be tough to know when something isn't right. That's where Discover Card can help. Now, we'll send you an alert if we find your Social Security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. And this service is free for card members. Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
Fire up the grills for another season of Seminole football.
2nd and 3, patient, then explosive, and a touchdown for the Noles.
It's Tallahassee Game Day, your ESPN Tallahassee pregame show featuring Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Yeah, I like them.
Get the latest news, interviews, and insights 3 hours ahead of kickoff before the Noles defend home turf.
Hey, on Saturday, we're going to play a game. We're going to most likely win that game, and we're going to celebrate on Sunday.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Whole Foods Market, a leader in natural and organic food that brings the highest quality of local and global products to Tallahassee. Whole Foods Market, located at 1817 Thomasville Road, and presented by MMT Clinics of Florida. Visit mmtcfl.com.
To the pylon! That's a Seminoles touchdown!
Attention all business owners, it's here. 97.9 ESPN Radio has developed the Triple Play, Tallahassee's most effective advertising campaign. The Triple Play combines radio, TV, and the internet, and it's brought to you only by Tallahassee's #1 sports station.
Hi, I'm Travis Kelly, account executive here at 97.9 ESPN Radio. Call me at 561-8400 right now to find out more about the Triple Play advertising campaign and begin growing your business. It's football season. Everybody's listening. Call me, Travis Kelly, at 561-8400 to partner your business with Tallahassee Sports Monster.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. August 24th, 1989. At 9 a.m., baseball's commissioner, Bart Giamatti, stepped up to a microphone and announced that Pete Rose, baseball's all-time hits leader, would be banned from baseball for life for gambling on games. After over 6 months of meetings and interviews, Rose's fate was sealed and still fights for reinstatement today.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott will likely play in Saturday night's game against the Raiders. Elliott's appeal of his 6-game suspension under the personal conduct policy will be heard on Tuesday. The baseball, where Cubs lefty John Lester will throw a bullpen session tomorrow. He went on the DL last week with shoulder fatigue and a tight lat muscle. According to Elias, last night in Pittsburgh, Dodgers right-hander Rich Hill became the first pitcher in history to lose a no-hitter on a walk-off home run. Josh Harrison beat the Dodgers 1-0 in the 10th inning. Miami Hurricanes quarterback Vincent Testaverde, who never got into a game, is leaving the program. He's the son of Vinny Testaverde, who won the Heisman Trophy with Miami back in 1986.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
At Jay Cameron Show, y'all should reassess that last segment after the Florida-Michigan game. should know more about our quarterback, offensive line, and secondary. Yeah, I mean, I do think Florida and Michigan, that's why that matchup is so intriguing and why I'm excited to watch it. That's a game that is very, very difficult to assess. It's a very difficult game to say with any certainty what you think is going to happen because there are so many unknowns about both those teams. You can't lose as much as Michigan loses and not think, and I'm talking about players, personnel, experience, starts, reps. They lose a ton. I know he's recruited well, but I do think Michigan is in store to take a big step back. I also think that if they're going to avoid a straight-up bad year, they need to win that game against Florida. It's a big out-of-conference tilt, to say the least. And I think the same thing holds true for Florida. I think that it's reasonable to suspect that they'll play good defense. We know that just returning talent alone, they have enough good players. Now, they did lose a lot, as we said, but that's an area where they have recruited well. It's on the other side of the ball that Florida has really struggled. Primarily, Florida struggled with having legitimate weapons. It strikes me as odd to see Florida without a good quarterback, with a receiver that's okay. He's not elite. He's just good. He's not great. And they haven't had a secondary guy that you could really trust besides him. They're okay at running back. They're pretty good at running back. But your offensive line, quarterback, well, that's a problem. That's an issue, and it's been a lingering issue. So I just don't know what Florida's going to be. I think they'll be pretty good on defense. I think they'll be average at best on offense, at best. I would hate to hear my coach talking about playing 3 quarterbacks at this stage of camp, talking about maybe playing 3 quarterbacks entering into the season, not sure that they can settle on one. As they say, if you got 2, you got none. If you got 3, you really got none. It means you haven't found a guy to separate himself from the group yet, and that means you've got really nothing that you feel great about at quarterback, most important position on the field.
One of McElwain's quarterbacks said that in a media availability. If you have several quarterbacks, you don't have one.
That's, in my opinion, that's accurate.
Good Lord.
I mean, you need a viable backup without question, but it would be nice if after this juncture of camp, somebody's emerged as the clear-cut favorite to play against Michigan, and they don't have that. So, yeah, I'm hesitant. And again, removing biases here, I'm telling you, I just think that this is setting up to be a pretty average year at best for Florida, but this game could go a long way in giving them an opportunity to win 9 games.
I think what their defense does is going to help determine who wins several of our bets here that we have on the side, or any potential bets I could, on the up and up completely make about Florida's over-under and their win totals. Because if the defense is average, if it falls to average, man, they could lose just about every game they play against a non-FCS or low-level FBS opponent. But if the defense is, still top 25 in the country good, then yeah, I mean, they could win 8 games. And maybe they could luck their way into 9 if a couple of bounces go their way. They get turnover luck this year.
Well, I just think, though, again, Tom, when we talk about the SEC and how far it's fallen from a coaching standpoint, how far it's fallen, there was a time where week to week to week you'd say, man, none of these games are going to be easy. But Kentucky may not be easy for Florida, but they're not a juggernaut. Vanderbilt's not very good. Every year we ask if LSU is going to be able to move the ball on offense. If they have quarterback play, can they throw a forward pass? That game's in Gainesville. Texas A&M with Kevin Sumlin, you know what I think of that program and how it's overrated every single season, and that usually they start off well and then take a nosedive, and their second half of their schedule proves to be more difficult than the first half, and all the talk about A&M at the halfway point somewhere in October goes away pretty quickly when they reveal themselves to be, once again, middling at best. So South Carolina's not very good. Missouri's not very good. These are all teams on Florida's schedule that Florida doesn't have to be very good to beat. And now you're just UAB, automatic win. Northern Colorado, automatic win. Whether or not Florida wins 9 games really depends on whether or not they beat Michigan. In my mind, the way I view this team is they beat Michigan, they're going to win 9 games. They'll beat Michigan. They'll beat Northern Colorado. You got coin flips with Tennessee. You should beat, well, you beat Kentucky every year. It's by right. Vanderbilt, that's a win. Home against LSU and A&M, you'll win one of those 2, if not both. Every year, obviously, we have the Georgia game, which many times Florida hasn't been the better team, and they have found a way to win. We're rolling our eyes going, good Lord, again, Georgia? So I'm not going to automatically assume Georgia beats Florida. I don't think that's safe to do. That Georgia team has been better playing against a worse team than this Florida team is currently and lost that game. Missouri's not any good. South Carolina's not any good. UAB they'll beat. They'll lose to us for sure. But I think that's how they win 9 games.
I hear you, but, sometimes you got to go by history on the other side of the coin, and they've lost to Vandy. I mean, they've lost to Georgia Southern when things aren't going good in games.
When they were 4-8, this is not a 4-8 team. They're not. You think they're going to go?
I'm just saying, if that defense isn't good, then nothing's out of the question.
Their defense is going to be good. Florida is we're doing that bet. Florida's a 9-win team.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we'll find out what the over/under is, and we'll make the bet. We'll just make the bet. They're not great, but again, they weren't great last year, and they weren't great the year before, and they're going to lose to Florida State again, and that's great. And it's in a weird way, it's a special kind of hell for them to be in, because these 9-win seasons and SEC East championships, SEC East Division victories, I should say, kind of mask the mediocrity. We know Florida's not beating anybody who's any good. And that's the hardest thing to accept when you're a fan, because on the one hand, when somebody takes a shot at your program and says that you're down and that McElwain's doing a poor job, you turn right around and go, well, now wait a minute. We've played for the SEC East champion. We've played for the SEC championship 2 years in a row. We've won the East. How can you say that? The guy's doing a good job. And on the other hand, they're right. You know that if you play anybody who's any good, you're going to lose. You're not as good as Florida State right now, and you would look at the top 25 and you'd go, these 7 or 8 teams we have no chance against as we're currently comprised. And that's a bad place to be in at a place where they want to play for titles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the SEC East is, I guess, an accomplishment, but the state title is a bigger one. They would know a little bit about how hard it is to win the state title.
Oh, that's for sure.
We don't. Really, in the last 4 or 5 years.
Every year we win it.
Just win the damn thing
all the time.
All the damn time.
Just constantly.
All the damn time.
I'm almost bored with winning it. It happens so frequently. It's just like, another state title for FSU.
No, I don't know about all that.
I'm just saying, it's not as special. It's like, being a multimillionaire and somebody hands you a 20. Oh, great. That's just for us, it's,
The one thing I will say about that Michigan-Florida game is I like Harbaugh when he has less to work with or less knowns. He does seem to batten down the hatches and do his best coaching. Think about the transition at San Francisco in the pros, or what he did building up Stanford, or what he did when he first got to Michigan. They were at least competent right away.
And
People figure them out.
They'll be competent, and they'll win a number of games in the Big Ten just by being competent. He also has recruited well. So they'll have better players than a lot of teams they face in the Big Ten. Not named Penn State, not named Ohio State. But I don't know. I mean, I think Florida's competent as well. I don't think they're a good team, but I don't think they're a terrible team. I just think they are. They mirror each other. I mean, it's just fascinating. The game itself is fascinating. It's not the highlight reel, 2 preeminent programs matching up for college football lovers to finally see what they've wanted to see, which is Florida State and Alabama play each other. They've seen all the other matchups. Florida State, Alabama, Clemson, and all these teams in some capacity have played each other, except for the Florida State-Alabama game. That hasn't happened. So that game, understandably, is the Big Daddy. But in a lot of ways, this game is just as intriguing from a matchup standpoint, and if you're trying to get a gauge on what somebody is.
Who do you think is better between Florida and Miami right now? I know we just did a W and L, but that game's played in a stadium, one person's home. So if it was a neutral site, what program is better off in 2017? Let's say you put them dead in the middle of the year that they're playing.
Probably Miami. I'm
not going to say second best because that could be South Florida. We don't know. But, yeah, as for the title between Florida and Miami, it could be for bronze or silver.
Yeah, I think probably Miami, you would say, in that scenario is better off right now. If you're asking the question, who I can't.
Just for this 1 year, not about, mobility, the trajectory.
Yeah, Miami, probably Miami. Although I would be that's making certain assumptions with their situation at quarterback too, though. You know, we did that. That's the one thing. If you're a Miami supporter, you say, look, we're better. We're moving in the right direction. I like the way we finished last year. You know, we're closer. We're closer to getting back to where we want to be, which is certainly to win. You got to at some point win the Coastal and play in the ACC championship. You do think Mark Richt is without question a better coach than any of those parade of average to sorry-ass coaches they've had as of late. So, yeah.
The one thing I would say, though, is from our perspective, I mean, Miami has at least scared us 3 years in a row.
Oh, sure, it's a rivalry game. They get up for it. It means the world to them. They never win it, but it's a big deal.
Sure, with Florida, I mean, you know, there's really last couple of years especially.
They don't score.
There's no fear. So it's got to be Miami.
Well, but Miami has had a modicum of play, decent play at quarterback in those games. And so, you know, while he never won an important game his entire career, and he never beat Florida State or anybody of any merit.
Except for that Pitt team.
You know, while all that was true, at least Kaya had a modicum of success against middling teams, right? So Florida hasn't had a quarterback to do that. They've won with their defense.
I mean, come on, wouldn't Florida sell their souls right now to have Brad Kaya as their quarterback this season?
Well, that's a toughie. Yes, they would. Man, aspiring to have Brad Kaya.
Yeah, they'd take him in a heartbeat right now.
Winner of not a single important game in his entire career. That is something.
But he would be an upgrade.
Oh, a massive upgrade. For a guy that never won a thing of any consequence, that would be something. Let's do some probables, sir. Cue it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
You're still there. Hey, so by the way, a lot of day baseball, including one with a brawl, so go watch the brawl. Brawls are cool, especially when actual hands are thrown.
Not for you kids, but, you know.
No. They'll be hitting kids at your Little League. Dodgers and Pirates playing right now. It's 2-1 Dodgers.
What would you do if there was a brawl at Bryce's game? Would you stop and wait and see what happens first, or would you go run in and break it up? I'd
break it up. It's ridiculous.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let's just see what happens here.
I think Bryce might win this one. Let's sort of... No, I'd break it up. Red Sox and Cleveland. We got Chris Sale, Trevor Bauer. That's the matchup tonight. Cubs, Reds, Jake Arrieta, Sal Romano. Going over to Sal's. Padres, Cards, Luis Perdomo. It's a tough one to use because I just want to stop and just kind of groove. It's such a terrible song. Carlos Martinez goes for the Cards. Twins, Sox.
I'll have a blue moon. 2 oranges, please.
I got to fix my seashell necklace. Jose Barrios goes for the Twins. Derek Holland goes for the White Sox. Nats, Astros, Steven Strasburg, Dallas Keuchel. We've got Rangers, Angels, Martin Perez, and Troy Scribner. So look at those that shall reside on the bump.
Got a feeling that forever, we're gonna stay together. For me, there's nothing better. You're the baby.
Tomorrow we will see you at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 6 o'clock. And thanks again to all of our sponsors. If you're one of the first 250 in attendance, you get a free event T-shirt from our friends at Full Press Apparel. Just saw them, just got them. They just came in this hour. They look great as always. Danny does a great job, as people do, at Full Press Apparel. And good raffle tomorrow night, guys. Event goes from 6 to 9. Lots of people jumped on board. I'll tell you about it again tomorrow, but we'll have a whole list of all that good stuff, and I'm looking forward to it, very much so. Good work out of you, Tom. Good work out of you, Matthew. The countdown is up next. All right. Coach is on that show, right? I love Coach.
Coach Cofield.
Yeah, man. That's my man right there. So the countdown's next. Stay tuned for that, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Libations Friday.